correct? Am I correct?
Mhm.
And she is going to share with us, and I'm going to have her tell you a little bit more about herself, so you can get a better sense. And then she's going to start sharing with us right away. All right, Monique, take it away, girl.
Okay, so you just want my story, how I got into.
How you got into real estate,
Okay.
investing, and then we'll go to questions from that.
Sure. So, I it was never my plan to be a real estate investor. I'm a first generation American. My parents are from Haiti. They have a great parents. So we're always like, Monique, you can be anything you want. In parentheses, as long as you're a doctor, lawyer, professor, or engineer. Because for them, that was what success was. And I don't know if anybody else got that message. That was definitely the message I received. And I was a good student and a dutiful daughter. So I chose of those four, I chose law,
Mm-hmm.
went to college, Ivy League law school, got into a big law firm, one of the biggest law firms in the world, partnership track, six figures income. They followed the plan exactly as I was taught. And I was absolutely miserable.
Mm.
There was, just to give you a sense, I remember it was a Tuesday morning. I found myself in the ER because I've been having these terrible abdominal pains. So I went to the emergency room, and when the doctor told me that my appendix had ruptured and I'd be in the hospital for several days, I ended up being in the hospital for 9 days, and then he said I'd have at least 30 days at home afterwards to recover. My first thought when he told me that was, oh, thank God I don't have to go to work for at least 30 days. And my next thought was, that is bad, right? Like I did not know how miserable and unhappy I was until that second. I knew I was unhappy, but I sort of thought, well, who's happy as a law firm associate? Nobody's happy doing that, really. But to prefer to be in a hospital bed with a life-threatening, excruciating illness to being at work, like there's something wrong, especially when I'd done everything right, you know. So I had to figure out another plan. And it was not a straight shot, and it took me a while. And real estate came in as kind of a happy accident, because the only thing I'd ever been taught about real estate is that you should buy your own house.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody who has read like Rich Dad Poor Dad or knows about that, you know that a house is not, regardless of what the bank tells you, a house is not an asset. An asset is something that makes you money, that gives you money. A liability is something that takes money away from us. So even if you own it or not, like generally a house is that you live in, unless you is going to be taking money out. But that's all I've been taught about real estate. So I went to buy a house, but I live in Los Angeles, very expensive market. I'm curious where everybody who's joining us from, where in the country or where in the world you're from. So share in the chat. I'd like to know. But so from here though, we have in LA, this was back in 2005, a starter home in a semi-decent neighborhood, not a mansion in Bel Air or Beverly Hills, just like an area where you're not going to have drive-by shootings. That's upwards of $600,000-$700,000. So I ended up buying with a friend, and we bought a 2-unit. Actually, I had it was 3 units. There was a converted garage in the back, and we each took a bedroom in one unit, rented out the upstairs, rented out the back house. We even rented our basement. And I was like, oh my gosh, these people are paying our mortgage. This is awesome. And then when I met my husband, he had a duplex. We got a single family rental together. And I still wasn't really thinking about it as a way to replace my working income. And I just thought, okay, that's how it's really, you buy houses to live in. And then we ended up, though, after the market crashed, the 2008, we started to flip houses, and then we learned how to bring groups of investors together to purchase larger properties. And then we've been doing that since 2016. So for the past 5 years, we've acquired multi-family apartments and a mobile home park and an RV park. And now we're doing a lot of industrial, so warehouses and factories. And it's been a wild and amazing ride.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What I love the most about it, which I don't know, the level of real estate knowledge that's on our summit today, but what I love about what you've said is you started from like scratch. You started from like living in the house first and having, people pay the mortgage, and now you're all the way up to industrial. Because what I see from that is that it's a process, right? And we're here talking about money and mindset. So I want to jump right in and ask you about mindset, because that is one of the keys that is required for you to be able to go from, living with housemates to now investing in industrial real estate. So
yeah. So I left out a piece of the story that I think is important, because it shows about what mindset shifts and what paradigm shifts will do. Because I didn't, it's like, I was like, okay, I went from like having a house with 3, and then all of a sudden, I learned about having these, like bigger deals. So and it was actually one night and one conversation that created this huge game-changing, quantum leap inspiring shift. And that kind of thing can happen today at the summit if you're open to it, right? If you're listening. So I said we started flipping houses after the crash, because we had sold one of our duplexes. We had a large sum of cash from that. And then houses were on sale, like 2009, 2010. And we started to flip at that point. And in 2015, flipping is a very active business. You have to find a property, fix it up, then you sell it. And I wanted something more passive. You could bring in a tenant, you put them in, they just pay you every month. And I was looking for something in LA, a fourplex where we could, and nothing made any financial sense. Nothing was going to cash flow. And I ended up meeting a man through a mutual friend and a mastermind I was in, who he's a host of one of the largest, or like the number one real estate podcast in the country at the time. He'd done hundreds of millions of dollars worth of real estate. And he told me 2 things that shifted things completely for me. So the first thing he said was, LA is a really tough market. I always say, live where you want to live, invest where the numbers make sense. And I went, oh, because until that moment, I thought I was limited to where I could drive to my property, touch it, self-manage it. It didn't occur to me that actually the whole world was open to me. So that was a big shift. And then he said, and you can buy that fourplex by yourself, but you're limited to your own capital and credit. He said, alternatively, you can bring a group of investors together and you can get a 100 or 200 unit apartment building. I was like, my brain exploded. Like, that's possible? That's a thing? I thought you had to be a billionaire to do that until he said that to me. And that opened up so much possibility. But one of the things that also I got from that, so I got 3 takeaways from that right away. One was like, yes, I got this full body. Yes, I want to do that. And then I was like, and I want to learn from you because you're doing this really well. I was like, I want to learn from people doing that. But I also, 3, I want to be around people who think that big. I want to be around people who think that 200 units is normal. And I'll tell you from that, so I met him October 2015. January 2016, I was at a conference to learn how to do this. So we got tickets that night to go to Phoenix to learn how to do this. January 2016, we started off with 2 rental doors. By December 31st, 2016, we had 1,012 doors. that 1 year
Wow.
from from that paradigm shift. And that I didn't have to invest where I lived, and I could bring groups of investors together. So through partnering with others, we just had this quantum leap. And that's the power of the mindset shift, right? Having different beliefs about what's possible. So that's why when in my teaching, when I'm in my program, each topic I always start with myths. What do people believe about something that is not true?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a Mark Twain quote. It's not what you don't know that will hurt you. It's what you know for sure that just ain't true. That just ain't so.
Right.
But you know for sure that just ain't so. I think it's what you don't know that will hurt you too. So it is what you don't know, and what you don't know that you don't know, but it's also what you think you know that's not true. So all of those things can limit you. And that's why it's important I think, to learn from people who are doing it and top levels, right? And who are doing what you want to do, who are where you want to go, and not taking advice from people who are not doing it, not where you want to go, right? So don't take health advice from somebody who's very unhealthy and overweight, and that's right. Don't take relationship advice from somebody who's getting divorced and they're always fighting with their spouse or their significant other, right? Don't take money advice from people who are broke. Broke or barely come by, right? So learn from those who are where you want to be, who are doing things that you want to do,
or at least a little bit ahead of where you are right now, because
they don't have to be mountains ahead. They don't have to be like light years ahead of you, but just ahead of you on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that, I think, especially with money,
Mm-hmm.
each extra figure that you add to that bottom line, to your income, that's a whole new mindset shift.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So from 5 figures to 6 figures, that's another mindset shift. 6 figures to 7 figures, another mindset shift. 7 figures to 8 figures, another mindset shift. To 9 figures, to 10 figures.
So Monique, so within those different categories of the money, right?
Yeah.
You're saying it's a different mindset shift. Can you share? Let's just start from the beginning. Let's start from the fourplex to the, how many doors you got the second time?
Oh, well, so instead of the fourplex, my first thing was 109 spot mobile home park.
Okay, so share with us what shifted in the mindset? It's a mindset shift, I get it, but can you go a little bit deeper?
Yeah. So one of the shifts was, first of all, it was possible. It was possible, right? I'll put it back away. I'm going to share a story that Tony Robbins shares. Mm-hmm. He talks about, he saw this article in the paper about this guy who had, after searching for 26 years he was sure that there was like this old Spanish galleon with all this gold that had sunk, and he kind of had an idea of where it was, and then he finally found it, and it was $500 million, right? Over $500 million worth of gold he found. But he was searching for 26 years for this, mm-hmm. right? So he's like had this idea, but imagine going day after day after day, and like I think around year 5 or 6, he was caught in a big storm. The team was caught, and he lost his son and another teammate, and he had to, and he's going out and he's convincing investors. It's not cheap to go and look for like something at the bottom of the ocean, but for 26 years. So it was like, what did he have to believe mm-hmm. in order to get there, right? So there were like 3 things he had to believe. So one, like if you can imagine, he had to believe that it's out there, mm-hmm. right? That it's there, that there's this gold there. So he had to, this like such a belief that there's gold. And then he had to have a belief that it was possible to find the gold. Mm-hmm. And then he had to have the belief that he could find the gold, right? So all those 3 beliefs are like those are necessary. The gold is there. It's possible to find it, for somebody to find it, and it's possible for me to find it.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
That's a big one. But all of them are necessary, right? Yeah. Otherwise, there's no way he would keep going day after day after day looking for this gold. 26 years, right? Like what kind of belief? So with me and like every step along the way. So first it was like, oh my gosh, it's possible to invest in these big things. Like there's gold out there, right? Like, oh, like I kind of knew that those things were there, but hey, there's gold there. That's there. Those like 109 unit mobile home park or like a 600 unit apartment complex. Like that's there. It's possible for somebody like me to invest in it. And I can do it. So those were like the three mindset shifts. Because until I even saw that it was possible, I think I saw that it was there, but it was so out of like this realm of possibility that I didn't even conceive of, I didn't even consider it. Like why, I would never even have looked towards the ocean.
And why do you think that is though? Why do you think that is that you before now you didn't conceive it? What do you think?
There were a few reasons, right? And I think so I often think it's like, why aren't more women doing real estate? And my passion, my mission is to help 1 million women invest in real estate. I think for a lot of them, they just don't even see it as it's like I didn't even think like, it's like I've lived in an apartment building. I didn't think about like people own this, right? Like people own this. Like normal people own that. I thought it was like
everybody else can own it,
like,
but I can't.
Billionaires own it.
Billionaires,
corporations own it, but not like just like very, like whatever. You might as well say Martians own it. Like it was just like people, it was just like people from outer space. I don't know, but it was just like I didn't even think about it. It's like big corporations own it. I don't know. Like that was my belief, right? I had this belief that it was just like not like nobody that was even remotely like me could own it.
Right.
And then it was, or like I would need just like ridiculous amounts of money, so much money when you like I can't even think about that. So much money. And then it's possible. So first I had to know that it was possible. So when he told me, he's like, oh yeah, you can bring groups of investors together and get a 100 or 200 unit apartment building. I was like,
and that's a mindset
that's
shift
a thing
too, right? Like what did it take for you within yourself to even ask investors to come into your pool?
That was the next big shift, right? So then, okay, yes, this is possible. And then it was like, oh my gosh, why is anyone going to give me that kind of money? Because we're asking, normally like our minimums are $50,000. So it's like $50,000, $100,000, like who's going to write me a check for that? Like, why would they give me that kind of money? And the mindset shift was this: they're not giving me money. They're investing in an opportunity. I'm giving them an opportunity to make their money make money. I'm giving them an opportunity for them to like double their money in 5 years, for them to grow their money, for them to build wealth. It was not when the big shift was realizing it's not about me at all. It's about them. And if it's like, is this an opportunity that's going to serve them and is a fit for them? And that became the conversation. Like there's this opportunity to have, you have money sitting there. Maybe it's in a retirement account that's not doing much, or maybe you just have it sitting in the bank, like basically losing money because it's growing less than inflation, right? So it's like, is this an opportunity? Can you afford it? Would this fit for you? And if so, then now I'm just allowing people, like giving people this opportunity to have their money making them money. So their money working for them, so they don't have to eventually, so they don't have to work for their money because their money is working for them.
Yeah.
And so once I got that shift, they're not giving me money. They're not like handing me a check for me. They're doing something for them if it's a fit. That like changed everything. Literally, when I got that, and I went to the sales training where that was my big takeaway. And right like that weekend afterwards, I was walking my dog around the neighborhood, and one of my neighbors came and she's like, I know you're in real estate. I just wanted to talk to you. Now we just sold a property. And by the time I was like, just walk with me. I'm gonna walk around the block. And like by the time we walked around the block, I had $140,000 of our investment.
You had an investor. Oh my God. Just like that.
Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna invest with you.
So here's what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing, and let me know if this is what it was. The minute you decided that it was possible for you, that shift alone in your mindset actually opened up the possibility for the person to show up. Right?
Yeah. So, but it really was a shift too of it not being about me.
You, yeah.
It being about them, right? Yeah. Like they're not investing, they're not giving me money for me. It has nothing to do with me. It's 100% about them. Mm-hmm. And how can I support them
in their dream?
And if it's and maybe that wasn't a fit, maybe whatever, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's not about me. It's mm-hmm. not about me. Never, ever, ever about me. And that was the shift. And from then it's like our problem is we have like before that I was like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get the money? And now it's like, we almost have too much money. We need to find more
kinds of properties.
Because we have like more investors than we have, deals often. So we need to we're always like, how can we get more deals to like help our investors? So
yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. So I would love you guys to type in the chat what you're taking away from Monique's story and what she's telling us about the possibility that's out there for you. You could be in the mindset where she was earlier on, and she's sharing with us that this is possible.
Where's the gold?
The gold. Where's the gold? That's a good thing.
I see we have Monica from Atlanta and Jamila from Duluth. Mm-hmm. I got Georgia in the house.
I love that. Nice.
So Monica was the unlimited possibility. It really is. Yeah. There is no limit to what is possible.
None. The only thing that's in play is you.
Hmm? Yeah. Like since then, we've invested with our investors in hundreds of millions of dollars of real estate in 5 years. It's mind-boggling. So
yeah.
So it's not about me. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, there's a Zig Ziglar quote: if you help enough other people, you can have anything you want if you help enough other people get what they want.
Monique, slow down. I was just going to ask you your favorite life lesson quote.
There are so many. Yeah, there's so many. There's one I can't believe I'm forgetting this one because it's actually I have it as a signature, like on my signature on my Gmail account, and I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's some to the effect of it's like you want to savor this moment because like life is like a snowflake melting in your hand and shimmering like a star, so you have to like just appreciate like every moment that we have. I mean, that's like live fully. This past week my uncle passed away. And whenever someone close to me passed, and he led a long life. He lived to 89, so wow. nice long life with kids and many grandkids, and he had met his first great grandchild shortly before he passed away. And and a few years ago though, my older brother had passed away at 50, and the what I got from that when he was first diagnosed with cancer, and he had like a stage 4 colorectal cancer, I was like, oh my God, he could die, he could die. And then it hit me, it's going to sound morbid, but for some reason it made me feel better. It's like, well, of course he's going to die. We're all going to die, right? Like life is a terminal condition, but not everyone lives. So that's, and I was like, oh, he's going to die. I don't know if he's going to die next month or 3 years from now or 30, 40, 50 years from now. But regardless, I want to be like fully present, fully loving with him and everyone else in my life. And I want to just not have a single regret of a moment unlived. And so that is like, whenever anyone pass away, that I am always again reminded that yeah, we're all gonna die, but we don't all live. But I'm gonna live this sucker of a life the best I can.
The best you can, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna savor this amazing
and now,
life that we have.
Right, not waiting for the future, right? Like now, right?
Yeah.
One of my mentors, I talk about Miles Monroe all the time, and I'll never forget the day I heard him say, the richest place on this planet is the graveyard. And the reason for that is because everybody took what they had inside them with them to the grave. They didn't live. So when you said that just now, it reminded me of that quote from him, and life is now. And the biggest takeaway I'm taking from you is that make a decision, right? Live in possibility, right? And keep going, just do it and have a good reason why you're doing it. And it doesn't get to be about you.
Yeah.
Because that's where the success comes in, right? Gets to be about other people.
And that's, I think, the true joy of life.
Yeah.
Like how much can you help? How much can you serve? How much can you like contribute? Mm-hmm. That's, at least for me, that's the joy. That's the juice.
Yeah, me too, girl. I can see you beaming. It's beaming right out of you.
Yeah.
All right. So, Monique, how can people, well, let me ask you first, what's your free gift that you have for our attendees today? You want to share that?
I have a guide for you all, investing in real estate from $1 to $1 million, investing strategies for every budget and every goddess. And I wrote that because so often people won't even consider real estate because they're like, I don't have the money. I need tens of thousands of dollars in the bank to even think about it, to even get in the game, to even get started. This, in the same way that I thought, oh, like there's no way I could get an apartment, but like I wouldn't even think about it because it's like for other people that have way, way, way more money than me. I wanted to create this guide so that people can, I share 12 strategies, some that require little to no money. Mm-hmm. Some that require little to no time. For somebody like, I have some money, but I don't have time to go to open houses and find tenants and deal with evictions and all that stuff. So little to no time. And then other ones that require you never ever have to deal with a tenant, toilet, or termite, the 3 T's. So how do you invest? So I'm gonna share a bunch of strategies. So any excuse you have that's like, I can't because of this resource is limited, I share a strategy where
you put that to bed. Anybody can do it. I love that. I love it. 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 I love the 3 T's: tenants, termites, and what?
Toilets.
I
love the 3 T's, and now I don't have to ever deal with them.
I know. That's my kind of real estate investing. I had a multifamily down in the city of New York where I live, and let me tell you, them 3 T's, girl, I was out in a minute because the tenant was crazy and the house was renovated and she found rats. How's that possible? Anyway,
never mind. Well, sometimes little holes they come, but you just it's finding the right to screen, and so there it can be fun too. So some people love that part of it, and for them, God bless them. That's what my property managers get to do. They love it.
Exactly. That's the other piece, right? You provide a lot of jobs for other people. All right. Yes. Well, Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, this was so heartfelt. This was so informative. I love the stories that you gave of the possibility. I love that you made that transition very clear about how you made your way to where you are right now, to show people it's possible, not just possible, but you get to stick with it, right? Because I'm sure that's
Yeah.
how you got to where you got to. So,
Yeah.
and in addition to that, the one thing we didn't talk about was the relationships that you've built throughout that process. And I'm sure you've done that too, in order to
Had to. Yeah.
gain all that you've gotten up until now. So thank you so much, my friend, for popping on again. It's
You're
always such a
welcome.
pleasure. Always such a pleasure to share you with the audience, to be in your presence, your greatness. Now, tell them where to find you.
The best place to find me is on my website, reigoddesses.com. So REI for real estate investor goddesses.com. And there you can get links to our social, to find the blog, the podcast, and gifts and goodies, and our investor club.
Yeah.
All of our
Yeah.
classes, our events, all the things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So make sure you join her Facebook group, because you get to learn a lot. And, you know, if you want to be in real estate, that's the place to be. All right, my friend, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And see you on the next one.
Okay, bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too.
All right, so here's what I want from the people in the audience. I would love to put in your takeaways from Monique's conversation. And here's the thing. The things that I heard her say, it wasn't really about money, right? It was about you believing in yourself. That was the first thing. You taking the opportunity when you see it, right? And really finding those things that, you know, make it your big why, and knowing that it's the big why doesn't get to be just about you. Those are the 3 big takeaways that I saw. So share in the chat your takeaways. And while we get ready for the next speaker, and give me 1 second. Let me know what you're getting from this so far. All right. Okay. Wow. Ooh. Hold on. Yes, Miss Patty, how are you? I can't hear you though.
Hi, am I on set yet?
Yes, you are.
Oh, we are on set already.
Yes,
wow.
my dear.
Ooh.
You're
yeah,
here.
I didn't get a chance to check myself and
You're
see what
good.
I'm looking like. And oh my goodness, you had
You're
me locked
good.
out there for a minute. Wow, I'm not used to that. Learn something new every day. But what I have learned, honey, on this journey is, honey, you have to learn how to maneuver through the stuff. Maneuver through the unexpected.
Yes. See, my thing didn't work. My thing worked at 10 o'clock this morning, and now it's not working. And I was like, you know what? Leave it alone.
Oh, honey, yeah, but that's part of the journey, you know?
Yes.
That
all right. So
journey.
Welcome to the stage, Miss Patricia Rogers. She's a visibility strategist.
Absolutely.
And I'm so happy she's here. So let me just tell you before she starts talking, because she's got, listen, this one here is a fire hose. So make sure you're ready to write, take notes, because she is going to bring you, I mean, I can't even tell you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to spoil. So, here we go. So, and I want to share with you that she actually, one of the things she does, which so beautifully, I just messed it up, is virtual backgrounds.
Oh,
let me say it again. Let me fix it. Custom virtual backgrounds, right? Not just any virtual background, right? So if you notice the one that she has on there, her favorite color is red. Her branding is red. So she's all about branding as well. So I just wanted to introduce Patricia Rogers. She's a visibility strategist. And Patricia, tell us a little bit more about you before we jump into questions.
Oh, wow. You didn't send me no questions. Okay,
no, I'm kidding. There's a reason for that.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, Lorna, for having me on your platform. This is really awesome. And I want to say thank you also for all the times that you've attended the events that I've hosted since transitioning to online, thanks, thanks to the pandemic
Mhm.
shock, that we all had to experience. And that's one thing I have to say thank you, because people need people.
Yes.
People need people. None of us can do it alone. And
Mhm.
no business will function without other people.
Mhm.
So I want to first say thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
connecting with me when you did. And I appreciate your friendship. And as for me, I just to give a little bit about me, I retired. I retired in 2016. I worked 29 years with Miami-Dade County in corporate America. I retired as a corrections lieutenant. So, needless to say, when you're working for corporate America, you don't have to know who you are. All you
Mhm.
have to do is go in and do
What
what
they
you're
say.
told to do. So there's really no reason to discover your gifts and talents and turn them into a business. You don't know anything about that.
Mhm.
As I was coming upon retirement, I knew that I had to do something with the time that I had left, because I knew I was healthy. I'm still healthy, and I was going to live a long time. So I'm like, okay, do I want to sit up and watch TV all day long? Do I want to travel around the world? What do
Mhm.
I want to do? Well, the way I found that out was I started connecting with influencers such as Women Prosperity Network. I joined that organization prior to retirement. Bill Walsh, International Power Team. I worked under his coaching programs and platinum speaker trainings and all of those things. Sharon Lecter, entrepreneurs, I worked with her in Arizona. I tell you, I just invested in myself.
Mhm.
That's what I did. I invested in myself. And I say that for a reason,
Mhm.
because if we don't invest in ourselves, nothing is free. And I picked the cream of the crop. So I picked them because I watched them and I wanted what they had. And
Mhm.
therefore, I learned what they had to offer me, and what it did for me. It has catapulted me into the role of no longer the CO corrections officer, but to the role of the CEO. How about that?
Yes, I
So
love
I'm
that.
running my own life now. No more challenges in corporate America. No more being put down. No more being written up. No more being passed over for promotions. But what they did do for me through all of those challenges,
Mhm.
it gave me my stories as a international public speaker.
There you go. So what
So
I'm
we
hearing you
take,
say,
yeah, we
let's
take the
jump right.
lemonade, as they say, lemon, and turn it into lemonade.
Yes. What I'm hearing you say, let's jump right in, because this is a good nugget right here, right? Like life is happening for you. I don't care if you hate your job right now, it's happening for you. For you to
Yeah,
be able to use it in some kind of way,
yeah,
right? To
yeah,
make
absolutely.
money, to, anything is possible, like Monique said, right? It's not just in real estate, it's in
Absolutely.
every area of life. So I love that. Love, love, love that. So, Miss Patricia, we're here talking about money, mindset, and manifesting, right? So, how did you do it? Like, what did it take from you when you retired? Like, what was that pivotal point that you said, okay, I'm retired now? Because I'm sure you jumped into online and you jumped into speaking and investing, but okay, let's go back one more step back. Like, what was that transition from retirement? Like, what did you say to yourself that you were going to do next that made you decide to invest in yourself to get you to where you are now?
Lauren, I'm glad you asked that question. One thing about us as people, if we don't, we should know our strengths. We
Mm-hmm.
should know. And everybody has a vision. And
Mm-hmm.
what I did, I wanted to live out that vision.
Mm-hmm.
And that vision was, after realizing in corporate America that I could have the whole pie. Many people get into retirement and they go back to work because they didn't figure it all out. They didn't take those steps that they needed to take to discover who they really are. And what I had to do was
Mm-hmm.
discover, I know who I was. I know I was a leader, no doubt. I led in the organization for many years. I've also been in the military, 12 years Army Reserves. So I have leadership abilities, even, just that's part of my history. I also have the ability to bring people together. I love bringing people together, because I like to see the benefits that comes out of those relationships that are born through bringing those groups of people together. And I did that a lot, even in my youth in church, so on and so forth. That's just something I did. But guess what? I didn't know it was a gift. I didn't know it was a talent. I didn't know it was a hobby, you know. And what happened is when I transitioned and started working with Women's Prosperity Network and the other mentors that I mentioned, that's when I discovered that those were gifts. Those were gifts. And any gifts that we have, guess what? We monetize. We monetize them. And this is what took me, after being with them for a while, this is what took me into hosting online events. I was hosting live conferences already. So I transitioned. All I had to do, as my coach Nancy said to all of us when that pandemic hit, she said, you don't have to change your vision. All you have to do is pivot. And that's exactly what I had to do. So changing my mindset, the struggle was for me was charging people. What do I charge for my gifts? That was a part of my struggle, and asking for the money for the value that I had to give. So that's why it's important to stay connected to organizations. This is why it's important that we stay connected to those people who have what we want.
Yeah. What I'm hearing from you here, I just wrote down vision and value. Those are the two big words that stuck out just now. It's important. What I'm hearing you say, it's important to have a vision, because no matter what happened, you know, during your transition with retirement and all that, when the pandemic hit, you still, Nancy told you to hold on to the vision. And I'm a big believer in that, because vision is kind of like your North Star. It will always guide you to where you want to go. And the minute you take your eyes off your vision, that's when you get all, you know, overwhelmed, which is a myth. You know, you don't know where you're going, you know, all those things take you out of the game. So I'm glad you brought that up. So let's shift gears a little bit. And was there a point in the process as you were transitioning, was there a point where you actually slowed down to speed up? Do you know what I mean? Like for me, one of the things I actually did in my life and in my business was I took a step back, right? To kind of like regroup. And when I did that, it gave me a little bit more momentum. Did that happen to you in your process? You muted yourself. And now you're off camera. Where are you?
About that, I'm going in. Can I go in?
Hold on, don't go in yet. I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. And I'm glad that happened, because what happened just then, I have a distraction. My cell phone is going off in the other room and it's a distraction. But you know what? I brought that up because guess what? Yeah. This is what happens when we're on this journey to success. My daughter's in the shower. I'm trying to put me on mute, call her. My phone is on. But guess what? Because it's a distraction. And I don't want to distract the audience. Most of all, I don't want to distract my conversation with you. But I want people to understand, based on that question you just asked me, do I stop along the way? No, ma'am, I don't stop along the way, because there are going to be distractions. And when those distractions come, what we have to do, rather than stop, oh, I'm slowing down. I hear it from other people.
Hold on.
I'm taking a break.
Hold on, Patricia. I'm not talking about the question wasn't meant to slow down. When I say slow down to speed up, it's not like you're slowing down, taking yourself out of the game for distraction. Okay. It's slowing down to look at what's working, what's not working, and where to make the shift so that you actually move faster. That was the meaning. Oh, I'm glad you're going there. I'm glad you're going there. So I just want to make a clarification.
Thank you.
Keep going where you're going.
Thank you. So do I slow down to see where I am, what's working, what's not working? Of course I do. Of course I do. I don't necessarily stop, but I don't stop. That's just, for me, quitting is never an option. But along this journey, I look at what's working, what's not. And I read Napoleon Hill in his book. He says that when you have, and we hear it all the time anyways, but common sense too tells me some things. I don't have to read it. Common sense tells me, if this is not bringing me an income, those certain things. I'm gonna use one for instance. I was doing bios. I was working with bios for a while. Now, bios was bringing me some money, but I was partnering with someone else. So I was the one doing all the marketing. I was the one bringing all the customers. They weren't pushing anything. For me, that was not working. So I switched over and I started doing what I was capable of doing on my own, which was Spiegel One sheets. Now I'm not accountable to a partner because all partnerships don't work. Now, it's nothing bad about that.
Right.
But I had to look at that and say, hey, wait a minute. You're putting in too much energy. So I don't stop, but along the way, I keep working, doing the other things that I enjoy while I critique that is not working. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I make adjustments.
Yes.
It wasn't working when we had to go online. It wasn't working. A lot of people didn't move.
Right. So that's my point. Yeah, because of the fear. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So by us having that coach, Nancy Matthews, Women's Prosperity Network, I joined, I went to my coaching session. I kept doing what I could do, going to coaches. And the first thing she said was what? Do not change view of your vision. Just pivot to online. And I hosted 8 online events last year. So 100, my first event, teaching video training, using your smartphone. I'm like, who's going to come to this? Fear, 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 fear. But when I took the leap out of faith, because I believe in myself and I have a greater belief in God. And when he wants the best for me, I'm going out on his promise to me that I can have whatever it is I want. And I posted that event. And my team came together, we did what we had to do. And you know what? We sold 101 tickets for that event.
Wow.
At $10. You know, I was mad when it was over, right? Because I wished I had sold them for 25. But I was scared. Nobody's gonna come. I'll just charge $10.
Yeah.
And that's what we do a lot of times. We underestimate our value.
Which brings up the, you know, like I wrote down before, the value. Like you get to be really clear about your value. So what shifted for you in that when you did the $10 and then you said, oh, I should have charged more, right?
Well, you think that what shifted for me was based on the trainings that I received, and you hear me talk a lot about Women's Prosperity Network. Matter of fact, the free link is in the chat for free membership. So I know you're going to ask me that. But yes, what shifted for me was that they teach us in sales training. This is why you have to be taught by those who have what you want and need. In sales training, we do over and over and over continuously. They teach us, and they taught us that in order to increase your sales, in order to enhance your bottom line, you have to increase sales. So how do you increase your sales? You can increase your sales by taking the price up. That's definitely one main way that you can increase your sales. Or you can increase your sales another way. These are the two that works for me is I have to add more products to my services. So I chose, as it relates to my events, I chose to take the ticket cost up.
Okay, that's great. That's great. But so something had to shift inside of you for you to make that distinction and move into more money for you, right? So that's amazing.
And what shifts inside of me also is the fact that I have a burning desire to have a healthy lifestyle. I want it, I have it, and I want to keep it. How about that? So what needs to shift? I need to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I can get more of what I have.
You want. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So let's shift gears a little bit into, I want to talk a little bit more about visibility, because you've been coaching me around visibility. So, like visibility is all part of manifestation in my world. So can we talk a little bit more about that? What you have manifested because you have a burning desire, right? Because of your burning desire, you have become outrageously visible, right? And now you're known as the visibility strategist. So talk to us a little bit more about that.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, visibility strategist. As an entrepreneur, I used to call myself. My title was business development strategist,
Mhm.
and that worked well. But when we transitioned to online,
Mhm.
I took advantage of the tools that the platform Zoom offered, and
Mhm.
this is why we have to read and understand
Mhm.
the benefits, because a lot of these platforms, Zoom, StreamYard, a lot of these platforms, Eventbrite, a lot of them, the tools that I use, MailChimp, they have so many features, and we don't know it all. And what happened was, when I was hosting my first event for video training, and then I hosted another one for Zoom. I hosted several. I just kept hosting events, and everything I do is really about teaching people what I know, because if it works for me, it'll work for you.
Mhm.
And that's what we do. And what happened was the visibility came about because one of my colleagues in Women's Prosperity Network at the time, she said to me after my events, one of the events she attended for me, she said, you know what? She texted me, she said, you need to change your name to the visibility strategist.
Mhm.
And she said that really would suit you because of how professional you show up, how
Mhm.
you show up for people. Just showing up, period. I always say, get up, suit up, and show up.
Mhm.
Just go. I don't have to be front and center, but just go support other people.
Mhm.
And that's how I build my network, of course.
Mhm.
And then when she said visibility strategist, I felt like that was a defining moment.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you something about that since you asked that question.
Mhm.
A lot of times we don't know what our gifts are. People are like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna give you a nugget. Can I give you a
Yeah,
nugget
make sure
right
y'all
quick?
write in.
When people tell you, when other people tell you, compliment you on certain things that you, trust me when I tell you, that's a thing that you can possibly monetize. Now that's a nugget. And that's what I realized. So when people start telling me certain things, because they used to always talk about how nice my videos were that I posted on social media. I'm always on social media, have always been on social media because I love people. And this is the way of the world. So I can stay up on the changes in life.
Mhm.
And so that's how visibility strategies came about. I love putting content together. I love doing videos. I love posting nice content, affirmations, things that I create myself using Canva, as well as my own smartphone.
Mhm.
And that's when it affects how the
Mhm.
people who look like they know what they're doing, even if they don't, even if they don't. Because, and that's what's important to me. So I do not go on a platform without some information behind me as to what I'm about, what I'm doing, or something that would present myself in a professional manner, because people are always watching. And I believe that if they're watching, I want them to see something that is attractive enough to them to invest in some of the products
Okay.
that Unity and Service provides. And one of them, as you said, is the virtual backgrounds. We also do the one speaker one sheets. We also set a platform for our speakers, those entrepreneurs who've never spoke before, they can speak at our events. Those entrepreneurs who are influencers, they speak at our events. And so everything I do has to do with me edifying you, giving you visibility as an entrepreneur, and promoting you. We do a lot of promotions for our events. So if you're in my event, such as the same thing you did, you saw me. If my face is on there, it's going out.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you not only put that document together for me to share about your event,
Mhm.
that entrepreneur side of me is telling me, hey, wait a minute, this lady is promoting me, and she took the time to put this information together. I'm gonna push this out.
Mm.
And when I push it out, now I'm promoting not only you, I'm promoting myself too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Visibility is the result of branding.
Yeah.
What are you doing to brand yourself?
Yeah.
If you're not putting it out there, who's gonna see it?
Yeah.
I always say, if you're not there on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, Twitter, whatever,
Yeah.
Who's going to see you? Nobody. Branding is essential to our businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where visibility comes into play.
Yeah. So I like I said, I see you everywhere. Talk to us a little bit, and I know you talked about value, but can you go a little bit deeper in on how the visibility has monetized on your end? Because we're talking about money manifesting and mindset, right?
Yeah.
I hear how you shifted like all the way through, right? Now, if you can share with us just a little bit deeper on how the visibility piece of it has monetized for you.
Oh, wow.
Because if you don't show up, here's what I know. If you don't show up, the money don't show up either. So
absolutely. And you took the words out of my mouth. Money follows motion.
Yeah.
Money follows motion. Mm-hmm. So if I'm on wherever I go, I'm moving. And whenever I'm moving, I'm not talking about food. I'm not talking about things. I do some personal, but I'm moving my business. Mm-hmm. And virtual backgrounds have brought me increases. Bios have brought me increases. All this has to do with visibility. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Speaker one sheets brings me visibility. We even have added a new product to our line, and it's called video bio. That means your bio is done in a video. Cheryl is on this.
Cheryl's on it. Yeah, I saw Cheryl pop in. Yeah.
See, so visibility has definitely opened more doors of opportunity for me and shine more into some of the gift that I had to look at myself and say, okay, what else can you do to support, to make yourself more visible? And in making me more visible, because people are always watching, those individuals who see me and want what I have, because if you have a product, and a lot of times we shy away from conversations like this, but if you have a product that is benefiting other people, they're going to find you. Yeah. They're going to find you. Yes, I have to do my follow-ups. Yes, I do. I have to market myself. But trust me when I tell you, people are always watching. Yeah. And that's called targeting, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So when I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm targeting you. Because if your video not right, I'm not going to call you out, but I'm going to make sure you see me and what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm going to open up an opportunity to just have a little conversation. Because see, I go to the chat, I find anybody in the world I want in that messenger. And I talk in my messenger. Yeah. I share my information I don't know all 5,000 people, but I know one thing, a whole lot of them, if they're in my house, on my platform, connected to me, they're going to get hit. Yeah. And I call it divine purpose, because God always sends me the right people when I present myself, like I say, friendly. And the Bible says, in order for us to gain friends, we must first show ourselves friendly. So all this stuff that some people use about, oh, I got a LinkedIn page, but I'm not using it. I have Facebook, but I need to be on it more. I don't know how to start relationships online. Where are you going to stay stuck? And that's where I come in at. Because see, my job is to inspire you. I can't make you, but to teach you and to inspire you. And I show you the ropes. I show you how to organize and do a whole lot of different things that's mundane, the small things, organizing your email, writing a simple a comment to a person that's a stranger on Facebook. We call that content creation. How to build those relationships. All of those things has to do with visibility, and it took me into coaching. So coaching, some of the items that we create that's going to help you look more professional and going to show you how to create conversations online with people. All of that has to do with coaching. Yeah. And so many doors have opened for me financially. Financially. I own mine, honey, because I don't take any credit. Stay with me, sis. I don't take no credit for what God has done. He created me for a purpose. Did I do everything right in my past days? No, ma'am, I didn't. But he turned all that around and he put me and placed me where I am today. And he wants the very best that I have to offer. And that's what I give my very best.
Yeah, you sure do. That deserves a round of applause. That deserves a round of applause. Because, you're sharing a lot of juicy stuff. what I'm hearing is that you're very intentional, very intentional. I remember one time I saw you, I think you were going out with your son for dinner.
No.
And his new wife, yes, his new wife.
Oh
And
yeah.
you were in the restaurant
Yeah.
and you were sharing them, right? But you were really intentional around sharing it. And in the middle of sharing them, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because what hit me from what you're saying is a lot of people post on social media and they just post for post's sake. But how about adding value when you're posting, right? Because I think I hear you saying that's one of the things that's really been your thing.
Yeah.
And I remember when you posted that video, they introduced themselves. You showed where you were. You gave a story that happened. If I remember correctly, it was you were late and all kinds of stuff was happening. Your son went there. Your son went there. You thought you were going to get the seat, and everything worked out. But you made it a teaching moment for people, and that I found really like powerful. Like if people are really watching, it wasn't just about sharing that I was late for the restaurant,
right?
But you use that as a teaching moment for somebody who is ready for hearing what you had to say that would shift their life, right? Yeah. And that's all part of the mindset around being visible, sharing and adding value, Right. So I saw that. I was
That's
like,
awesome. Wow, thank you. And I want to let you in on something. I paid for that meal that night with all those young people because those are young people. Mm-hmm. And my job is that I've met since moving here to Georgia, and they're young couples. And the two of the other couples that was with us, and they've been here to help me, assist me at the house. And I figured the least I could do, let me take them to dinner with my son and his wife. So I wanted to get those couples together. Remember, I told you I like connecting people.
Yeah.
And that I took them all out that night because I wanted all of them to meet each other because they didn't know each other. And we had an awesome time. And I told them when I got to that restaurant, y'all get anything y'all want. It's on me. And Lord, that was the worst thing I could have said, honey. They had lobsters. They had lobsters on their plate bigger than me. So I'm still paying for it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're monetizing, so you're not still paying for it.
I thought I threw that in.
I love that. All right. Well, we're just about almost there to the end of our session, Miss Patricia. So why don't you share with us your favorite life lesson quote and why do you love it?
Oh, wow. I had a couple of them, but you only want one. Okay, I'll give you one. I'm going to pull one out.
Because you got to explain why and what it does for you. How does it?
Okay, I'm going to use this one. Mm-hmm. This one is in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Mm-hmm. And it says, one sound idea is all one needs to achieve success. One sound idea, just one, is all one needs to achieve success.
Yeah.
And when I read that years ago, and I'm still reading my book, I read him all the time. That man is awesome. Stop. That book is awesome. That to me has meant the world. So when an idea comes to me that I should do this, we're hosting an event. I should host Eventbrite. I should host StreamYard. I should host whatever it is. The natural sense comes in and say, well, how you know people need that? Who you think might want to come? And I think about that clause, that sentence in that book. It says one sound idea. So what I have to do, that God has given me the vision. Now I have to develop the strategy, which is put the event together and then decide what knowledge I'm gonna pull out and use to educate the people. And then I gotta execute that thing. When I execute that thing, guess what happens? I've never had an event that people didn't show up. 7 years. 7 years. And I'm going in because there's a book that we have been told to read, that we have read on occasion many times with Nancy Matthews, Trish Carter, Susan Weiner.
Science.
It's about from William Waddles, Receiving Your Riches. And that book, what sticks out to me the most, one of the things that the most is that keeps me encouraged, is he says that it's enough people to go around for everyone.
Amen. Ooh, we're going
You
to
don't have to compete. And from that right there, I knew all I have to do is what I'm called to do.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
people are always watching.
Wow. Yes, I'm telling you. But I love Wallace Waddles. If you get nothing else from everything that Patricia said, write that book down, get it and read it. You know?
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. I love
Awesome.
that. What a way to end your session, my sister. So tell people about your free gift.
My free gift, I'm giving away 2 gifts today.
Oh, generosity.
I'm a giver. I'm not a taker. I'm a giver.
Yeah, baby.
And I have, like I said, when I have so much that has helped me, I share it with other people.
Mhm.
So what 2 things that gifts, I've already put everything in the chat. They can contact me at patrogers360.com. They can call me through that app. They can text me. They can send me an email. They can schedule a calendar link. They can hit that event button and they can register for the event. But that same event on that app, I'm going to give to you all your guest today for free. And this is up to our upcoming online event. We're going to show you how to use Eventbrite so you can stop being an attendee and learn to host your own events. So we're going to be teaching that November the 11th, 2.5-hour masterclass. And the host for that is Cheryl Otero, and she is one of my business partners as well as a mentee. And she's stepping out of her comfort zone and she's hosting her very first event. So I'm teaching her how to host her own event because she's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
And I said, you're sitting on it and you're not helping nobody with it. You got to get up and get out. So after this event, she'll be on her own, but I'm leading her and guiding her. And then we have the Women's Prosperity Network. I've been in for 6 years or so, 6 or 7, and I'm not going anywhere because they are the ones that have helped develop me to the successful entrepreneur that I am. And we're giving you a free membership to that organization. So you need to come and see and just come and check it out and see but if you're not ready to invest in yourself, don't waste your time. The membership is free. But come on, people.
Yeah.
When you get to this, in order to get the training and you are working and getting stuff out of people's minds and brains, come on. You gotta love yourself enough to invest in yourself. And this is where I am. And those are my free gifts. And I want everybody to have what I have discovered along this success journey. And that is a happy life because people need people. And we also have speaking opportunities coming up for February the 22nd, February the 24th and 25th. I have 2-day, 4-hour online events. And now next one for 2022 will be February 24th, 25th. And you speak, we fill the seats. That's how it's a business.
I love it.
You speak, we got to fill those seats.
Yeah.
So it's not free, but it's not expensive.
But it's not expensive either. Yeah. And again, investing in yourself is the key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to be seen and heard by the masses. So that's my story, sweetheart, and I'm going to stick to it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Patricia, thank you so much for taking the time, for supporting me, even with this event. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for all your nuggets that you dropped right here. I am super excited for what you're about to create in the world even more. So let's catch you on the next one, right?
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, so we're gonna move on, but before we do, I wanted to put in the chat what you got from Patricia's information. I want to hear specifically what you heard her say. What step are you gonna take away from what she said that you're gonna implement? Just one. I'm only asking for one. That you're gonna implement in your life or your business right away. When this summit is over, this is what you're gonna do, right? Because here's what I know. If you're not writing, that's one thing. It depends on what kind of learner you are, right? If you are a visual learner, kinesthetic learner, whichever one you are, you're going to take away something, but I want you to write it down anyway so that you remember it. It kind of like programs it into your brain so that you literally will take action on it. And remember, this is for you. That's why I grounded you in the beginning to tell you to write stuff down, because you came here for something. You came here for something. You're here for a reason. So I don't want you to what's the word am I looking for? Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Take something away from all these speakers. If you can't take it away from all of them, take one, implement it. This is about you. You get to change, you get to shift something that's not working for you. So let's make sure that you're doing so. All right, here we go. So Nakia said, money follows movement. Yes, girl, money is energy. And this is what people don't understand. This is why I love to do these summits, because I want people to understand money is energy. Our body is energy. Everything is energy. But money gets to move. That's why it's called currency.
That's
Currency, yeah, right? It gotta move. It gotta move. And it gets to move through you. So like Dr. Patricia was talking about, she's creating all these businesses, but she's sharing them because the knowledge gets to move through her, to you, to me, to whoever it can help, so that their lives will be successful as well. All right, next, hope. One good idea can change your life. Look at Dr. Patricia. She came up with, I heard 5, and then at the end she said the 6th one with Cheryl. So that's how she's monetizing. So there's something in your mind that you're not conscious of that you can do. You can take and monetize. And if you need help, we're here. Everybody on this call, on this summit, there are coaches. If you need support, reach for support. People are here to help you. And one of the things Dr. Patricia, I always hear her say, and she ended with it, people need people. You need the support. You can't, up until now, you haven't figured it out. Somebody else has, you just got to go find the person who did. All right. And who else? Visibility is crucial. Yes, Monica, visibility is money. You got to show up. People can't find you if you're not showing up. If we're going to be entrepreneurs, and I'm assuming that everybody on this call is an entrepreneur, and if you're not, you must be aspiring to be one. So visibility is part of the process. You get to be visible. All right, so here we go. I want to introduce our next speaker, and I hope I have this right. My beautiful friend, Miss Nakia Fox. She is gonna pop on, and she's my transformation woman. Are you here, my sister? I saw you in the chat, so I'm assuming you're here. Ah! Hi, beautiful. You're muted. You're muted, you're muted, you're muted. Ah, there you go.
Blessings. I'm so grateful to be here today.
Yes, you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you kindly.
Look at you, my fashion. This is my fashionista people. She is a fashion guru. She is into construction. She's a coach, and she's just out there changing the world. This is manifestation right here. Right? So
Right.
I want to introduce Nakia Fox. Nakia, welcome to Breakthrough to Millions. I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm so excited about what you're about to share. I know you're a transformation coach as well. And so I know a lot of things are probably going to come up because we are both in transformation. So yay. So share a little bit more about yourself, and then we jump right in.
Yes. So hello, I am your transformation engineer. I consider myself from the construction engineering background, civil engineering background. I am a licensed general contractor. I've been in the beauty industry for over 20 years. So everything is about building and creating. So that was my start. I started in corporate America, and I tried it out for some years. And I was literally at the point where I was like, it has to be more. And that's when I started my journey into entrepreneurship. So I came to the point where I was like, what all am I good at? Like what all am like, what all are my gifts? Like, what do I want to be known by? So that's how I got into really going apart my transformation journey and took my own stuff on as a project and got to the root of like, what value did I want to see in the world? I am a 2-time best-selling co-author. I am the owner of the Transformation Place Foundation. We have a nonprofit. We also have a wellness center. So creating multiple streams of income based on what I do well, which is love to help people truly get to the other side. Mm-hmm. So I literally started this journey and it has been going and going and going and literally getting to the point where I'm able to see other women and men really be able to live in their truth, because that's what it's all about. Yeah. And today I wanted to, whenever you're ready, tell me the flow, but I wanted to talk on clarity, because lack of clarity is very costly. Yeah. And going down my journey, you know, I really got to the point that I was like, it can feel like you're chasing air sometimes. You know, you're going through, you're getting the money, and then you're feeling as though I'm not seeing myself. I'm not seeing my day-to-day routine as what I really want to fulfill. And today, let me know about, you want me to flow into my the questions that I want to ask?
Well, let's do this first. Let me ask you a question, because clarity is part of the process. So let me back up and ask you the question, because then it's going to lead right into that. It's so perfect. Wow. God is great. Okay. So how would you define mindfulness? Because you're a transformation guru. So I'm setting the stage for you to start with mindfulness, because that's going to lead to your talk.
All right, declare. Well, everything is about mindset. Mindfulness, that's, to me, you know, the Bible tells us, be transformed for the renewing of the mind. Your mind is your powerhouse. Your mind is your storehouse. Your mind is the foundation to what you will end up seeing in your reality on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. So being in a place that, you know, you are, you know, at your truth, being centered, being clear, everything starts with the mind. Like, this is our converter. Like, this makes everything in your life truly happen. So mindfulness is one of the top aspects of really learning how to, you know, master, you know, when it comes down to self-mastery. Mm-hmm. The more you're able to master yourself, the more you're able to cultivate your gifts, the more you know your strengths, your weaknesses, the more you know what value you add, the more you know how to, you know, balance off your frequency when things are off. All of that is connected to mindfulness. So really being mindful of where I am, where I want to go in life, who I want to impact. All of that is very important.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's powerful, because a lot of people think that, you know, everything is going on out there, and they're at the mercy of everything that's going on out there. You know, even moms think they're at the mercy of the kids, because the kids are running around, right? And it's all about being mindful of even that too, right? Mm-hmm. So can you share some strategies that you use to keep yourself grounded and mindful, and what's working, even what's not working? Because that's going to be super powerful to share, right? Like, if you had something that you thought was working and it's not working, but, well, can you give us some strategies that you use?
I'm going to first look at the first component, which is even with the where am I on a daily basis. So on a scale of 0 to 100, I on a daily basis, I ask myself, where am I? Because everything is vibration and frequency. The more I'm closer to 100%, the more clear I am, the more cash flow, the more confidence, the more I am creating and accepting experiences that are alignment with my truth. Mm-hmm. The lower I am in reference to, you know, everyone should assess, like, when you're feeling low, that's normally you're going to attract the complete opposite of everything you want. So that's one of the tips I use. I tell my clients, never go below 65. It's just like grading yourself, because then, well, I mean, it's literally just like grading yourself, because then that lower vibration, normally you will catch that you're very reactive, you're doubting, you're questioning, you are now experiencing roadblocks. The lower you go in the spectrum on your day-to-day, like, where am I? How do I feel? Because you can only give what you have to give from the inside. So that is one of the things that I would tell anybody, is to really scale yourself on a day-to-day basis. How am I? So that you can know what you have to actually give to the world. Because sometimes, like you were saying earlier, you have to slow down in order to speed up. Sometimes in life, based on when you assess yourself, it's great to slow down in order to speed up. And then the same thing applies to the same analogy when it comes to the other area of life, as far as my money, my movement, as far as my business. Where is my business right now? What's working? What's not working? What's producing? What's not producing? What do we need to do to scale up? What do we need to do to eliminate? So I follow the same process from an internal aspect as well as a external aspect in every area of my life, to rate myself on a day-to-day basis to see what's working and not working.
Awesome. So, and this is that your response just now led right back to clarity, right? So clarity of vision, because like I said, when I was talking to Dr. Patricia, vision is the beginning, it's the North Star. So how do you get clear on what you want on a daily basis? What's the process for you?
Well, to be honest, I do it as a whole. This is the thing. Each person should know, like, who do I want to be? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And then it leads to, what does it take to be able to accomplish that? Where am I in reference to becoming that woman? When I'm working with clients, I'm like, listen here, I need you to literally create the life that you want to live. And a lot of that is based on what you actually see for yourself and who you see yourself to be, and getting clear on, where am I currently in that? A lot of times sometimes it's the outer appearance. A lot of times it's the inner, in reference to how do we see ourselves interacting with others. It's very important to know who you are, what you want out of this life, what makes you different, like the things that make, when Dr. just came on, was just speaking in reference to, really knowing, like, what are your gifts? Like, your streams of wealth that we create easily comes from what you're good at. That's the value that you add to the world. Being able to know, who are the people that I need to get me there? Like, who has what I need? So our connections. So being clear on our connections is very important. And knowing what's my current struggles. We talked about that a little bit as well earlier. Like, what is stopping me from getting to becoming that woman that I dreamed of being? Like, what are the steps that I am not taking that's allowing me not to be able to transition to that person in my recurrent reality? So those steps of clarity literally will change your life.
Yeah.
Because it will allow you to really pinpoint and get clear on what's necessary to get there.
Can you share with us, I'm sure you've been through this, and I think that it will be valuable if you're open to it, to share one of your experiences that you shifted. How do you shift it? How did you move? How did you clear? Where, like, if you were looking at your business or a relationship or whatever, and it wasn't working, and how you shifted because you got clear, right? A lot of times everybody thinks everything is happening outside. And the outside, I know the outside is only a reflection of what's going on inside, right? And then we get to get clear on the inside so that we can manifest what we want on the outside. So can you share with us something that you have experienced?
I'm going to briefly give you two different scenarios. The first is going to start off with how I started to get to where I am now. So for instance, I was working corporate, and I would get sick every single Sunday. And literally it was a routine. It was just like sick, physically sick every single Sunday. And I got to the point that I was like, what is that? Why am I feeling such a darkness or a heavy weight every single day before Monday starts? And it got to the point that I had to say, like, something has to change. I'm not liking this. Even though I've done every single thing that they told me I should do, I'm not happy with this. And I was successfully depressed for 10 straight years. So creating in a space where I wasn't getting to my fulfillment. And that's when I got to the place that I really went deep and say, you know, I would love to be able to deal with clients interactively on a day-to-day basis. How do I do that? And that's when I left. I left and transitioned into the entrepreneurship world. And that was the beginning of seeing that this is not what I want. It's not working, to the point that I'm physically creating, because we manifest. I'm physically creating an illness to the point that, like, I'm in a complete circle and cycle, round and round and again. And I was like, I cannot repeat this for the next 30 years. So I had to make a change.
Yeah. And the key to that, what I'm hearing you say, the key to that was actually recognizing that the reason you were getting sick was because of the what did you say? Successfully depressed. I've never heard anybody say that before. I was successfully depressed for a number of years. That's a good one. But you know what? That's a wake-up call, right? It was a wake-up call for you to say something's got to change. And it's not, it's not happening. It's not happening for you at the moment. So what else do you get to do? Yeah. So that's powerful. That's super powerful. So go ahead.
We see it on a large scale when, sometimes the world will gauge success based on monetary things. And when you start acquiring the monetary things and you're still not happy, is when you have to deal with the deeper root, because that means that it's more to you that's not being fulfilled.
And that's the block, right? So a lot of people, because I talk to a lot of women who are successful and they feel like something's wrong and they just don't know what it is, right? And that's that's part of it. That's part of it, not being mindful and clear as to what they want. And because they're not clear, they get stuck until somebody can come and see if it, because you know what, we can't see, we have those blind spots, right? You can't see it unless you have the help to see it, right? I love that. All right, let's shift into relationships, because I want to make sure that we talk about relationships as it relates to money. Dr. Pat, she alluded to it in our talk, but I want to get a little bit deeper with you, if you're open to it, about how relationships have helped you in your journey along the way in entrepreneurship to get you to the success that you have right now.
To be honest, the entrepreneurship networking, it really brought like the magnifying glass on me, just even in my healing process in general, because I was not open to, meeting others. I was always used to doing things alone. I was always used to, working it the hard way, when collaboration is the most powerful tool. But I had to heal in order to see it for what it was. Being able to get to the point that I understood the value of relationships, and I understood the value of, okay, if I heal from the inside, because we can't start relationships on an unsolid ground, no one can give from an empty cup. And going to different events and understanding that it was also bigger than just the event. It was other like-minded, like vibration individuals that I was really able to collaborate with. And it's like, it's a domino effect. You're able to really connect. It's like, the old saying, what's understood don't have to be explained. It's that type of vibration, that building solid relationships where you literally are like-minded. You might have different things to add, but it was from a healed place. And when you can create solid relationships and every person can know what they bring to the table, it's an effortless, epic encounter. So relationships to me are so important. And before, I was not even able to embrace relationships as a whole because I was not healed. So it required me to really do a lot of personal work so that I didn't bring any toxicity to my personal or professional relationships. So healing is so important because it travels on into your every area of your life. You know, when I'm working with clients, I say, listen, we're going to get to the money part, but first I need you to really work on this space, because that's going to attract your tribe. That's going to attract your people, and that's going to also illuminate the light that you are putting out into the world. So let's heal first, because the money you get by default. You get the money by default.
Yeah, that's the result, right? That's the result. That's not, I say it all the time. Money is the result. It's not the beginning. So you're talking about healing, and I'm not sure, you know, I know we're in a transformational world and we can use that word and it doesn't translate to some people. Can you get a little bit deeper about what you mean by healing?
I speak on healing because a lot of times we are in cycles. And we're not noticing we're in a repeated cycle of things that we don't like, that don't feel good, and we are just continuously going down that journey year after year, month after month, day after day, without understanding that, listen, a lot of times it's the reflection of me, because how I am in the inside, how I feel about myself, how I see others, how, like, what all I can give outward is going to show based on how healed I am. Yeah. And a lot of individuals look at healing as if it's like cliche, oh, it's healing. No, that's one of the pivotal like elements to your true, like, who you are on this earth.
Yeah.
An unhealed vessel cannot give anything other than lower vibration, toxicity, things that you don't want to recreate. So healing is one of the fundamental first foundational principles. It's just like in construction. In order for me to build this building, I must clear out the land. I must literally go in with the bulldozer, and we must get rid of things that no longer serve us, from
moved in the root of the trees.
Like literally, we got to clear it out. We got to survey this thing out. It's the same concept when we're going throughout. If I want to start something, first I need to make sure that I am together. And a lot of times we just want to jump into things without making sure you are ready to even have the capacity to deal with what you're about to take on. So healing is so important. It literally fuels your journey. So it literally is the payment you pay your future.
Yeah, this is so good. I want to get deeper, but do we have time? But yeah. So share with us, like, just one, let's pick an area of, because this is, I can't even believe this is coming up, but this is money, y'all. This is the money part. This is the manifesting part. And we still on mindset. So Nakia, can you share, take one little piece, because you said the whole, right? Can you take one little piece of the whole and go a little bit deeper on healing it? So like, give an example of something that's not healed, and how, what steps, what strategies, a couple of tips that you use. A small one, you don't have to use a big one. Tips, strategies to heal that little piece. Because it's a lot of things that might need healing, right? But we just want to show them how it works, right?
Oh, let's just say vision. Vision as a whole is based on belief. And one of the key areas that our work that is very, repetitive in a lot of the different coaching clients and me as a whole for years was I'm worth it. I had to get to the point that I believed I deserved the life that I said I wanted, that I believed that I could actually be a candidate in the physical form of what I wanted to experience. And being able to heal on a level, it showed up in my pricing. In the beginning, it showed up in the level and the level in which I was able to get exposure to, because a lot of times it goes back to my belief in if I deserve it and if I'm worth it. And when I'm working with clients, it gets back to when we go upon the 7 layers of your why. It gets back to, do you feel you deserve the life you like? Not what your mouth is saying, because you're going to manifest from a spirit, from the source area. It's not what I say, it's what I am vibrating and what I truly believe, because your belief is connected to your soul space, right? So that's when I started really believing I deserve to be happy, I deserve to be in none struggle of no longer served me. Validation was no longer needed. Access did not just have to be granted. All of that came from just me really healing in a way that I started learning healthy boundaries. And that was a way of self-love for me, is when I'm able to say no and stand in my truth. All of that shows in so many areas based on, am I worth it? Do I believe I'm worth it? It showed up in my money. It showed up in my relationships. It showed up in my service. It showed up in every single area of my life, and ways to get to the root of really saying like which areas do I need to heal? Which areas triggers you all the time where it doesn't feel like what things come up and you notice that triggers are constantly, and you're normally still reactive in some of those areas. You know, when we're going through, when we start to really overcome and understand things, is when we get to that level of mastery within self. It's not that it's not happening to you, it just no longer affects you.
And I don't know if it's so much as it doesn't affect you, is that you don't let it control you, right? Because it's still happening. So one of the things I tell my clients is, you know, you still get to feel the feelings, right? But you don't get to stay in the feeling, right? Because when you stay in the feeling, that's part of the healing, because you get to acknowledge it, right? And then you get to step out and move away from it so that you can move on. You know, a lot of people will stay in an upset for like days, right? But the key is to go through the upset really fast and shift out of it really quickly. So I
agree, because that's when it gets to the point that it's like you are no longer in this situation. You are able to look at it for what it is. It's like when also in the Bible, when it says take captive every thought. Before, you were just in it and reacting and responding. But the more you were able to heal in that way, it's still happening, but you get that pause. And that pause starts to get longer and longer, where you're able to assess it and choose, how do I want to move forward? How do I want this situation to go? Before, it was no pause, it was just all this. But now it's like I'm giving executive decisions in this matter now. And see, when you heal, you get to make executive decisions over your life in all the areas. It's like, listen, no, I see that this is going on. You know, it takes away the feelings part of it, and it goes from the actual your bottom line. So then we start making executive decisions, and then we start being consistent in our truth. Now we start creating that life that we've always, and we become that person that we're proud of for saying the yes and the nay.
And it's powerful when you're able to stand in that position and say a powerful no, so that you can get to your yes. So that's another piece, right? You want to talk about that a little bit, and how you use that in your life and your business? Because I know that sometimes we say yes to everything, and then we get into overwhelm, and I'm tired, and blah, 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 right?
well, it got to a point that I got, because I had to learn how to release the need to be needed. And then I had to respect where I really physically was, once again, under that, where I am from a 0 to 100, so that I knew if I had something to give. Because a lot of times I noticed the trend of I was doing and giving, but resenting. And then when you are not really liking what you're doing while you're doing what you say you like to do, is a key sign that you're not in alignment with your truth. So that's when I literally start really catching on and started, when I'm working with clients, I'm saying, listen, how do you feel when you're doing what you say you love to do? Because that will keep you in alignment with staying in your truth, so that you're no longer doing things and you're no longer having a great time doing it. You're no longer wanting to do because it can confuse you sometimes, to the point that if you don't stay in your truth, you'll start hating what you're put here to do. You'll confuse your level of you not being in your truth for that being the truth. And it's no, you just might need to recharge.
Yeah.
You might need to reset. You might need to literally go at it another way, because it'll literally sometimes trick you out of your very gifting area. It's like if you don't learn self-mastery in the very areas that you are gifted in, it'll rob you from the effectiveness of the gift. So it's like, no, you must master this, because your very gift that you're good at, you'll actually start resenting it. You'll actually start hating it. You'll actually start thinking it's not working. It's not, I should do something else, when no, we got to get to the root. We got to get to that root. Like, let's heal. Let's have ownership in our yeses, in our no's. Let's be clear on this woman or this man that we know that we are. And let's really move forward boldly and make these executive decisions. And when we see different things and distractions, we stick to our core.
Yeah.
We keep it simple. Stick to that core.
Yeah.
Is this in alignment with the life that I want to create and experience? It's either yes or no.
And if it's a no, you stop right there. But one of my coaches, he gives us 4 questions. He says, you got to ask yourself 4 questions when you're making decisions in anything, right? Is this in alignment with the vision? Is this moving me forward? Is this supporting other people as well as myself? So in other words, is it a win-win? Now, if any of those 3 are no, you stop wherever it says no. You don't move forward. This keeps you out of overwhelm. It keeps you out of overcommitment, right? And it helps you to stay focused so that you can get the money and the life that you want. So thank you for bringing that up. All right. So where are we? Am I doing good on this? Is so good. This stuff is the juice. Get into the root, get into the core.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, and I love what you're saying, because so many times, and I remember I did it too, operating on top of who you know you weren't put here to do certain things, right? And you're still in it, doing it, you know. It gets to a point where you really have to make a decision for yourself. You really have to make a decision for yourself. And it cannot come from a place of, oh, I'm going to disappoint somebody, right?
Right.
It really gets to come from a place where you are so grounded and know what you want, that whatever it takes, yes, that everything might burn down to the ground, but you are so confident in who you are and who you know you are here to be, that you know you have the strength to build it back up, but build it in such a way that you know it gets to move forward. Like nothing is going to take you out. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how powerful vision is, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with vision. But when you really get down to it, that's how clear you got to get. That's how clear you got to get in order to break through to millions. That's how clear you got to get, you know? And a lot of times, don't get me wrong, there will be breakdowns. You have to have breakdowns to break through. I'm not saying that this is the smooth road to everywhere you want to go, but I am saying that you get to be clear, grounded in vision. So I love everything you talked about today. What else do you want to share? Because this is like, this
whole millions. I really want to make sure I say that your millions, your trillions, your billions, all of that is based upon the capacity of your healing.
Yes.
Because you can have the money, but if I'm not sure who I am, I'm not sure on my yays, like that foundational element, you won't have the capacity to maintain it. Because it's going to be questioned on every front through all the different levels, because it's levels to this thing. It's like from glory to glory. It's levels to my growth. It's levels to my revelation. It's levels to my understanding. It's levels to my exposure. But if I heal myself, I'm able to fully bring the most powerful version of myself to the forefront on every single level. And that's what's so important. So if we just really, focus on that, I created the creativity, clarity, and confidence, like transformation journal, because those were the elements in there that helped me get through my transformation process. And when I'm going through clients, I say, listen, I'm not giving you something that I did not take. I went through these same steps. I went through these same, elements. I went through the same questioning and getting it. The confidence comes from being clear and mindful. Your level of confidence is how bold you show up with no excuse. That is powerful. Your level of creativity is connected to your wealth. How creative you are is going to be directly connected to the level of wealth that you're able to obtain. And then that level of clarity, it all goes back together. It's like the more clear I am, the more bold and confident I can feel about my decisions, my actions, and my interactions. All of that is interconnected.
Absolutely. I love it. I just want to acknowledge the guest, who Dr. Pat, she's like, good points about saying no. If we're not true to ourselves, when we say yes to something that is not conducive to where we are going, we can possibly lose good relationships. People must respect truth. I so agree with that. And one of the, I'll add to that is go in and set the expectation going in. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of times we go into relationships and we don't set the expectation. We have unspoken expectations and then it blows up, right? Apostle Gloria is saying, love your analysis of the healing process. That was powerful. That's why we talk about it. Can I use this on the video? In our transformation training, we talk about shit scoop, right? If you don't heal, you are piling up. And like Nakia said, the energy, you're blocking your energy. If you're not healing, you're blocking your energy. And remember we talked about money is currency. That's how it gets to flow. If you're not healed and the energy isn't moving through you, right? The money can't flow to you.
Yes.
See, this is why I'm so glad she brought up the healing part, because healing is absolutely, and you may think that you don't have anything to heal, but my invitation to you is just to take a look, see, right? And then if you see something, ask for support. All right, my girl, you are amazing. So tell us about, this stuff is so good. My kind of stuff. Anyway. Tell us about your free gift, what you have to offer the amazing audience who have come here today and who are so interactive. Thank you for being interactive. I appreciate you. You help us to give you more. So I appreciate it. So talk to us about what you got to give.
Well, I want to thank everyone for holding space for me during this fabulous and powerful event. I want to offer a free 30-minute clarity, it's a clarity session that I give my clients. So listen, I'm here for you. I believe the link will be in the chat, and let me know if it's anything that I can do to help you get clear, confident, and get this creativity going in your life and your good journey.
Awesome, Nakia. And tell them your website and how you like to be connected to.
It's www.nakiafox.com. So, and then I'm Nakia Fox on every social media outlet. So it's very simple. So www.nakiafox.com, and our signature product is this right here, which is our Clarity Confidence Transformation Journal. So we walk you through the process of transformation. So I am here for you. I'm here to support you and hold space for you. Blessings.
Awesome. You have been fabulous. This is so valuable. I've learned so much from you. I thank you for taking the time to come and share with us. I knew it was going to be the bomb, and you did not disappoint. So I will see you on the next one, my friend.
Yes, blessings.
All right. I hope you guys are hanging out here. So you know what I'm going to ask you next, right? Is to show me what you took away from Nakia's share. Let me hear what is happening. Tell me what is it that you took away the most. I know a lot of you, let me go back up here. Oh, by the way, they said they love the construction analogy you made. That was powerful. Clearing the trees, yeah, and the roots. So it's not just clearing the tree, right? Because you can clear the tree and the root's still there. So you gotta get all the way down to the roots so that you can pour the foundation. Yeah. So new foundation. So what else? Great insights. Yeah, something is still off. It must be a deeper internal heal. Okay, she was, this is Hope C. She was talking about, I forgot what you said, and she said, if you're successful in some areas and something is still off, there must be a deeper internal healing that needs to happen. Yes, own your internal healing needs come first. That's powerful. So I guess everybody took away what they were supposed to. The healing gets to happen. The healing gets to happen before you can pour a new foundation onto whatever you are creating. So thank you again, my friend, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, so we're gonna bring up our next speaker, and that's gonna be my beautiful Sydney lady. Are you here?
I am, yeah. I don't know why. Oh, there we go.
Here we are. Look at you.
Hello. How are you?
Hi, beautiful. I am
How are you
great.
doing?
How are you? I should ask you how you're doing. So,
I'm
guys,
good. I'm good.
you're good.
I would wake up for you early any day of the week. I'm just gonna say that. So it's so great to be here, and I loved what Nakia was saying before. So what a powerful summit, and I'm so excited to be part of it. Wow, amazing!
So glad you made it, my friend. I know. I appreciate you taking this time because I know it's early for you, and I know that you're here to serve these people. They've been here. They've been rocking it out. So this is. I don't want to butcher your last name, Justine. So
it takes
listen, I'm being real. I'm being real.
I love you, Donna. It's Pogroski. Very funny. A lot of people, if you just get your mafia accent on, then it sounds a lot better. So Pogroski.
Pogroski. Pogroski. All right, so Justine is the $1 Million Brander and so much more. And she is here today. I mean, so here's the thing, guys. She's been in corporate America, just like most of us who have found out that corporate America was not it. And now corporate American companies are her clients, which is amazing. You see how that works, people? See how that works? So Justine, I would love you to share a little bit more about yourself and what you do, and then we'll jump right in.
Absolutely. A little bit about me. I am a workaholic, but I love it. And I build brand empires for the experience age for a living. So my job, I live, eat, and breathe it. I love it. I shine light on others, and I make sure that they present themselves in the best light, online and offline. Our personal brand, I think, is, and not just our personal brand. Well, a lot of CEOs are jumping on that now. And that's why today my keynote is titled The Lamborghini Effect, because I think in 2022 and beyond, we're going to need a personal brand, but also corporate companies. You're a walking brand nowadays, and things have changed even over the last decade.
Right.
Like everything that you see is pretty much a brand, and it's also how you take yourself to the world, your tone of voice, how you carry yourself. So yes, that is a little bit about me. And I come from South Africa. I came here to Australia when I was 12.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
A whole different culture. That's fun. That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That explains the accent.
I know. It's beautiful. I can listen to you every second of the day. I love
that's what.
All right. So we're talking about breakthrough to millions now, and we want to give people strategies around mindset, money, and manifesting. So I know you started out in corporate America and something shifted. So I'm going to go back to shifting mindset because it's super powerful. Oh, I'm sorry. Super powerful when you're able to shift from corporate America thinking to entrepreneurship. So can you talk to us a little bit about how you made that shift?
Absolutely. So I think, I started off actually working for some advertising agencies. My background actually, if I'm going back 10 years, I'm just thinking about how old I am. But if I'm shifting back, it was probably around 10 years ago, I started in design, and my first job was actually in a magazine agency. So I just was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I don't want to sit laying other people's copy out for the rest of my life. Like, that's not what I want to do. I want to actually create a legacy. And that's when I made the jump into advertising and digital. Like, I don't know if do you remember the old internet when it used to have dial-up and it would go like, doo-doo? Like, that's when I started, and the old Mac computers, and you'd have to wait for it to connect.
Yeah.
Remember how they had all the colored Mac computers? So that's when I started. And I remember my first job in an advertising agency, and it was actually, I was working till about 4:30 in the morning most nights because I was a junior. I stayed there for about 3 to 4 years. And then the global financial crisis hit while I was working there. So they fired my creative director, who was my mentor. He was incredible. He was in Sweden, and they said, don't come back because you don't have a job. And we actually had a star chart at work with the amount of people who lasted through the global financial crisis. So they put on a manager, a creative director, a new one, who I'm going to say wasn't the nicest guy. And we're working on a Coke campaign. And I walked into work after a Christmas party, and I was the only one at my desk. And he said, Justine, I want to talk to you. Can you come into my office? And I said, sure. And I sat down, and he proceeded to tell me that he said, Justine, you know what? I don't know why you're still here. And I went, what do you mean? And he said, you're not worth your salary. And I had worked up these big visions and dreams of working for Dolce & Gabbana and Chanel and all these fancy brands, walking the Hollywood Boulevard and working on Nike and Adidas. And I worked so hard there, 9 to 5, beyond, like till 4 o'clock in the morning some nights. And when he said that to me, I was just devastated. And I walked out of the office and I had tears rolling down my face. And I remember I called my mom and I said to her, Mom, I've spent like 4 years of my life at this agency. This is what this very successful creative director said to me. And I feel broken. Like, what am I going to do now? He said, I don't know why you're still there. And she said to me some words that I will never forget. I remember it like it was yesterday. She said, someone's words will never define you. You pick how you define you. And one day you're going to be a global speaker. You're going to be on billboards. People are going to hear your name around the world because you are brilliant at what you do. And you cannot let people define you. Yes. So that was the moment where I decided I'm not going to let someone else define my salary. And that's when I made the jump into working freelance for a lot of different agencies. And I was all over the place. I worked for television stations here, one of the biggest telecommunication companies in Australia, PwC, designing their intranet and extranet. And you know what? I tripled my income, and I proved to myself I could do it. And that is when I started my agency, $1 Million Branders, because what I saw was a pattern. There were so many people who had $1 million brand inside of them, but they just didn't know how to get it out. So I wanted to be that gap. Because I had my experience and I'd worked so hard for it, I wanted to be that touch point of helping people to make that happen. So I created something called the Bankable Brand Alignment Program. And that's when I started taking companies who are new to the market and turning them into Fortune 500s. And, like to this day, I had a client the other week that just got his first $1 billion contract.
Whoa.
So branding works. Branding works.
Wow. So how do you do something like that? I mean, like, talk to us a little bit more about how you take a company. I don't know what stage he was at when when he used you as a client, when you got him as a client, but where was he compared to where he is now with $1 billion contract? Like,
so I've literally only been working with him since March. But I will say this, when he came to me, he was lacking a lot of confidence, not just with his personal brand, but he is such an incredible guy. Like, he had an Inc. article. He made the Inc. 5000 list too. And he is known as, like, they've referred to him as the real life war dogs. Like, this guy's like, you like Denzel Washington? Yeah. I like Denzel Washington. Yeah. He's like Denzel. Oh, I call him Denzel.
Okay.
He's a machine. Like, I've never met someone with such high integrity. He just wrote a book called Succeed the Right Way. He's an empath. He leads with heart. But the thing that he was lacking, because he's such a good person, he didn't, and also he's working with government. So it was a fine line, like he had to play it a little bit safe, but I was like, this is how we can do it and this is how we can take you. So I think there's something that happens when you present yourself in the right way. Like branding isn't just about having a pretty logo and a website. It is to a certain level, because people will make a decision whether they want to work with you or not in the first 5 seconds. I think it's even less now. I think it's the first 3 seconds. That perception, when they go to your website, when they look at your brand, your mission statement, your values, it all needs to align. And then we've got these fancy tools now, right, on social media. So it's Clubhouse, TikTok, all the verbal apps that we need to stay on top of. And your brand experience starts from the second you interact on the phone with someone. Like that is your brand. That is what people don't realize. And I think, you know, I talk about something called the Lamborghini effect. When you think of Lamborghini, why is it so great? Because they have, you know, it instills confidence. You know, anyone who buys a Lamborghini is confident. The way they rock up to an event, they walk different, they talk different. Have you ever seen a Lamborghini out on TV? Never.
Yeah. They actually ooze the confidence. It's not just confidence. It's like high confidence. It's like strutting, you know, it's just like an energy about them, right?
Absolutely. And so that's what $1 million brand is. Like, you know, they've defined the way $1 million brand should be. So they've got confidence, they've got scarcity. You know, you always turn your head when you see a Lamborghini because it's about the experience, you know, and then like, it's the way they position, it's their brand positioning. So with Paul, what we did was we took him from here to here by applying that same formula. So confidence, scarcity, and experience. And it starts with the logo and reaches all the way through his website, through how he's interacting with his clients, and then his social media account. But his book's brilliant. I mean, you can see him online. It's called Succeed the Right Way. So
before you go further, I don't want to forget this piece because I'm catching it right now. So confidence, how did you shift his confidence? Because we're talking about mindset. So there's something that I'm hearing that you did for him, right? To support him in shifting how he was showing up confidently in whatever his brand is that you were creating for him, right? So can you talk to us a little bit about how you shifted his mindset about who he was showing up as? Does that make sense? Are you getting? Okay.
I think, you know, people who are very empathetic, sometimes even they can be the highest achievers in the world, but they're also very humble, and they don't like to shout their accolades from the rooftop. But sometimes a great brand doesn't need to talk about it or shout it. It just needs to have the right messaging. So when it comes to showing up for him, it was just a matter of doing a few strategy sessions and also positioning him in his photos and, you know, his logo. Because have you ever seen those people that will give you a link to their website and then they'll be like, don't look at it, it's really bad. Like, or you know what I mean? And the thing is, you should be so proud of your brand. Because as I said, that's part of you. Your experience starts with you. We're living in a digital age. We're living in an experience age where people are going to check you out on LinkedIn. They're going to go to your website. They want to see where you're at, and they will judge you. They will definitely judge you by your brand. So having this beautiful brand experience with a message that aligned really well gave him that confidence to put himself out to the world. Because if you go look at his Instagram, if you go look at his website, it all aligns now, and it's very different. Like I always say, when you're a brand, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or you're a property expert or you're in finance, you have to think outside the box. What makes you different? I always say to my clients, do a competitive analysis. Look at everything that's online. It doesn't matter if it's in a different industry to you, but get ideas. Get ideas from what they're doing. Look at the successful companies. You know, there's also a website called Awards. I'll put the link down below. I'm always looking at the top leaders, who the website experiences, the brands online, because they pay millions and millions of dollars for in-house experts that will work on their creative experiences and their user experiences. So you can learn so much.
Yeah. I'm still going to stay with your client and ask you more questions around him.
Sure, go for it.
So, because you said he was an empath, and that's one of the things that I've noticed is that, and it goes back to a few of the speakers that have already gone before, and also Nikia, she was alluding to it a little bit, knowing who you are, right? He's an empath. How did you figure out that he was an empath? Can you share with us? Because some people don't know who that they're an empath. When I found out I had a little bit of empathy in my in my beingness, I was like, huh, what does that mean? And how does that translate into communicating and just being in business? How do you use that as a the word gift came up to me, but that's not what I really want to say. How do you use it as a vehicle to support you around creating a brand that is memorable?
Oh my gosh, I love this question so much, because so with him, the reason how I knew he was an empath straight away is because I'm an empath. And I think that that's what makes me really great in terms of branding. Like I understand people, you know, a lot of people won't listen. They'll just talk. Like I think when you're an empath too, like it's a natural, you want to connect with people on a different level and you feel everything. Like especially if you're a high level empath. So with him, it was very easy for me to connect with him because I think like attracts like, you know, and when it comes to branding and empathy, I actually believe that brands of the future, the $1 million brands of the future, the ones that build our legacies are going to apply a lot of empathy to what they do because we've got this thing called AI now. And as a brand, you should be able to connect with your customer and know what they want before they even want it. My background is also user experience. And what happens in user experience is you do a workshop called, it's an empathy map. You literally map out. So let's say I've got a product, I will map out every single touch point of the journey for my client. So how do they feel? What do they think? How do we get them to return? It's a major psychology. And I think this is what a lot of great brands are missing. You know, what are those touch points, those touch points of empathy that you can add in to shock your clients, you know, so do something different that they've never ever seen before. Because people, you know, it was Maya Angelou who said people won't remember what you do, they'll remember how you feel.
Okay. Yeah. That's powerful. So let me ask you, so if the person is an empath, how do you work with them? Like, how do you connect with them on a different level? Like, how do you shift yourself in order to accommodate them and figure out what they want?
That's a great question. It's the same process. I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs make this mistake. They design a product because they love it themselves. So the trick to great branding, it's not about you. It's about your customer. Get yourself out of your own head and think about what they want. I have seen people who have started apps and the works, you know, started created new companies. Great example, Shark Tank. Do you guys have that in the States, right? That where they have entrepreneurs on a panel and they present their company ideas. And the shark will say to them, you know, I'd love to invest in your company, or I'm thinking of investing in your company. What is your company worth? And the person will say it's worth $5,735.60. And the shark will say, well, have you made any sales? And they'll say no. And they'll say, well, how did you get to that valuation? So people will create products for themselves because they get so attached to their own idea. But really, what you need to do is take yourself out of your head. Think about what your users want, what your customers want, and design for that. So that's how I work with people who don't have that level of empathy. But I actually believe that we're all capable of having that. And it's a formula. Just don't make it about yourself. You know, and we have amazing tools to user test now too. So whether you're creating a lipstick or whether you're creating a fashion label, or whether you've got a law firm, like test those things amongst even your customers. like, give them a call, say to them, what would you think about this idea? They'll love it because they know that you're there to serve.
Yeah.
They'll know you're upping your service.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
them.
So there, yeah, I love that. Stepping away. This is the second time. Okay, guys, I hope you're paying attention. For those who have been on since the beginning, this is the second time it's coming. Actually, the third time it's coming up. Get out of your own head and focus on the people you want to serve. That's how money flows. Get out of your head and focus on the people you want to serve. Thanks for bringing that to the forefront again, Justine. So this has been such a great experience. I want to ask you, how do you, I know you said you're a workaholic. We get to talk about that, girl. We get to talk about that. But what do you do? Because in all of the workings that you're doing, I'm sure you still get yourself grounded in some kind of way. What's your little secret that keeps you going, even though you're a proclaimed workaholic? I don't think you're. I don't believe you.
I don't like that term actually, but I am, and I think it's because I genuinely love what I do, and when I see results and I see what my clients know they're capable of, then it makes me addicted. It's literally an addiction. Mm-hmm. So I'm one of those crazy people who loves their work, I know, but I meditate, and also my affirmations are really important because I think you have to live not just in the now, but as your future self. So how do you want to show up? How do you want to be? Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is gym. Like I go to gym pretty much every day. Like I come from a bodybuilding background, not the crazy Arnold Schwarzenegger type, but the nice bikini body type. So I have been doing that for about 5 years now. And exercise is so important. Like I will wake up, first thing I do is I'll go for a walk. Because how you wake up, and even on the days that I want to, like everyone has those days, I don't want people to think I'm perfect, and I'm definitely not perfect because no one is, but I think it's showing up, it's discipline. And the other thing is drinking water is so important. Like I never used to drink any water 5 years ago.
Really?
I made my own transformation. Yes. So because I was burnt out. So the thing is, you need to take care of yourself. And I learned this is a discipline, and now I can't explain how much better my life is, because it's I think you got to set up non-negotiables when it comes to this and setting routines, especially as a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What is your routine, your non-negotiable? So for me, it's my exercise, it's my drinking water, it's my vitamins. Like I'll have Vital Greens, and I don't know if you guys have that in the state, but I've got my regime that is a non-negotiable for me. I don't care what, like that's part of my routine.
Yeah. It's so important to take care of your body. And what I'm hearing you say is exercise is important, not just for body, but for discipline, right? For the endurance. Because I was curious to hear what your response was going to be. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, if she's a workaholic and she looks this good, she has to have some kind of routine that gives you like the endurance, right?
100%. And it's self-love too. Honestly, like I know it sounds cheesy, but like it's self-love. You got to treat yourself like your best girlfriend or boyfriend. Like what would you do for them?
Yeah.
And it's really something I've had to learn.
Showing up for yourself. So talk
Show
to us
up
a little bit more about that, because some people don't get that. They might think I know for me in the beginning, self-love didn't even come up. I was a workaholic myself. And most of what I did was because I thought that I loved myself enough to give love, and my way of giving love was to work hard to provide, right? Can you share a little bit more about how you interpret self-love, and like what point in your life did you know that was an important part of your success or the goal?
Sure. And I love that question. It's so important that people know this and understand this, because for me, it was a total learned behavior. I wasn't always this person, like I can tell you more of my story, but I wasn't always this person. And I think it's so important to speak life into yourself, to speak growth into yourself, because the end of the day, when the lights go off at night, all you have is yourself. It's a bonus if you've got people around you that will love you and bring you up, which you should have that, because your people around you will make a huge impact on how you live your life, you know. And sometimes you do, everyone has difficult people in their life, right? But at the end of the day, if you can be your own counsel, I'm gonna say, and believe in yourself, and no matter what situation you're in, like, have your own back, because at the end of the day, those words of affirmation in yourself are going to pretty much get you through any situation, no matter how hard. And I think also, as I learned from one of my mentors, happiness is a choice. Like, it's a choice. So you can get up in the morning and, like, feel miserable. You've got a choice, like, regardless of what's going on. We all have hard days as an entrepreneur. I've never in my life heard an entrepreneur say, oh, the journey was so easy. It's never easy. You look at the most successful people, look at Oprah, for an example, look at her life. Like, she didn't have an easy time, but she showed up, and it's consistency. Keep showing up. It's like, be at the, like when you're at the gym, people will see me and they'll be like, you're so fit. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't eat hot chips at the pub. Like, I'll have a steak and I'll eat like, it's a decision. Same as happiness. It's not just your outside, it's your inside.
Yeah.
Like, how are you taking care of yourself? And that becomes magnetic. When you start doing that, people around you start changing to level up with you. You don't need to shrink to be, in their circle. They will level up to you. And if they don't, there's that saying, what is it? Some people are in your life for
reason and a season.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, that one.
There you go, that one.
Love it. I love it. I used to tell my son that when he was 15, I taught him that, because it was so important that he learned that, especially at that age, right?
Well, I admire you. I wish someone told me that at that age. It would have saved a lot of heartache.
Yeah. Because a lot of times we want, as human beings, we want to be accepted. We think that, when you have a friend, they're friends for life. And yes, I'm not saying no to that, but if you have friendships that are not going in the same direction as you get to make a choice. And one of my talks is about the power of choice, right? You get to choose if you're willing to pay the price of what that relationship is going to cost you to move yourself into your vision, right?
Absolutely.
And that's hard. Right? That's super hard, because you went to school with them, you grew up with them. You both have kids, I'm talking in general, you both have kids, they hang out together. I was just in a conversation like this on Sunday with a friend of mine, and her sister took the kids away because of something that's going on. So, that's why you gotta be really grounded and healed, as we've been talking about, so that you're grounded in who you are, so that those things don't affect you, and you keep your vision high, and you know where you're going, and ultimately they'll either get it and catch up, right? Or it'll just fall away, and you got to be okay with that. It's an important step in keeping relationships, or leaving them. It's still a choice.
That's so great.
So what else would you like to share with us today about branding? Because I believe that you are a master at it. We talked about mindset. We talked about manifesting. You manifested the life of your dreams. Let's talk about the money portion of branding. What does branding do for your money?
Oh, I love this. People definitely underestimate the value of what a brand can do. And I would recommend, go look at my website, milliondollarbranders.com. You know that we do weekly clubhouse rooms, and what branding can literally do, and what I've seen it do for my clients, is pretty much double their income. Even for me, think of your brand like a business card, or actually better yet, think of your brand like a piece of real estate. So you buy a house, right? And over time, the value goes up. That's what a brand does. Like, if you invest in it, if you water it, if you let it grow, if you do it in the right way, I've seen it double, triple, quadruple incomes.
Yeah. That's important because, you know, like, so let me ask you, what's the right way? Sorry, I'm so sorry. What's the right way?
The right way to brand, be very clear with your messaging. People should know what you do in the first 3 to 5 seconds.
Okay.
When they read about you, they should know exactly what you do and understand it and have that, I call it an aha moment. So they should like try and create an emotional connection with them before meeting them.
Okay.
I think that is a great brand. So whether it's on your,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was going to ask whether it's the best way. So you're
okay. So I mean, video is the easiest way to get your brand right. Like, you know, you've got a little black box, which is this right in front of you. It's the easiest thing. But also make sure that you get your tagline right, your mission statement, your value statement. And of course, you have to know who you're trying to attract. So your ideal avatar, who is it? And go down to detail, like where do they eat breakfast? What do they read? Where do they work? What TV channels do they watch? What shows do they watch? What online sites do they read? What clothes do they wear? How old are they? Are they married? Are they divorced? Are they single? What age are they? You know, like I think things like that will really impact your brand.
Yeah, I remember you were on. I caught a piece of it. You were on with what's his name? Renee.
Renee.
Yeah,
yes.
You were on with Renee talking about that the other night. And that's probably why I brought it up, because I think that I know for me, I didn't spend a lot of time initially with creating my color and what I wanted to look like, you know. And for me, it took a minute to get that piece of it. I'm still work in progress. I'm not perfect. But I think it's important to have the mission and vision and keep the brand. It's all gets to be encompassed and like clear, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, people know who you are and they don't have to guess, right?
100%. I did something called Award School, which is like Miami Ad School in Australia. So it's very tough to get into. You have to do a test to get in, and they only have like 500 people a year. That's all throughout Australia. Actually, I think it was less. Anyway, so they taught us something, and it was something I will never forget. When you are driving to the airport and you're looking at a billboard, look how many words are on the billboard. There's only about 3 to 5 words. So that's why all the great taglines, you look at Nike, just do it. 3 words. Go and look at your competitors, see their taglines, because you get it. They build an emotional connection. Like for us, you know, $1 million branders, we build brand empires for the experience age. It makes you kind of want to go, oh, what do they do? So if you can create that little bridge where people want to find out about you and want to stay on your website and want to interact with you, you got a great brand foundation.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. Work in progress, guys. I hope you're listening. We don't get to just be out there all willy-nilly. We get to be like really, really like clear and concise is what I'm hearing, right?
Yes.
No, you know, because some people have some really long taglines, but that's because they're unsure of where they're going. So you get them.
Yes.
So Miss Justine, tell me a little bit. Oh, well, before we go there, I forgot my question that I asked everybody. What is your favorite life lesson quote and why?
I actually posted one yesterday, and I'm going to say that because it really resonates with me. A bird doesn't fly high because the weight of its wings. It flies high because of its imagination. So basically what I'm saying with that is you define in life how high you fly, and there's going to be obstacles in the sky. There's going to be clouds, there's going to be big airplanes, there's going to be a million different birds flying in all different directions, trying to confuse you, trying to say, you know, fly left, fly right. You know, that you're going to even see helicopters that are going to startle you, and there's going to be rain, there's going to be thunder, but you determine how high you fly in life. And I think that's the greatest lesson. Like, you've got to have tunnel vision, and you got to determine how high you fly, regardless of the noise around you, regardless of the distractions.
That's so good. Oh my God.
So I think today that is probably my favorite lesson. And don't be scared to be great. You shouldn't be shrinking yourself to fit
Oh
into
my
other
gosh.
people's mold.
Put that one in the chat. That one was a hot one. That one was a hot one. That was, if I had one of those, you know, those loud screeny things, screen that one. Drop that in the chat. Don't be afraid of being great.
Yes. And that's a learned lesson, you know, even for me, and I'm still learning that, because the higher you fly, you got to change who you are. Like there's different, it demands, as you know, that saying, you know, each level of your life will demand a different version of you.
Exactly.
That's it.
Oh, girl, I'm still reeling on that one. Still reeling on that one. That one was so good. I'm posting that one on social media today.
Of course.
I'll give you the credit. I'll give you the credit. I'll give you the credit. Yeah, that was really good. Fly high, and don't be afraid of being great.
And that's
hard. Guess
hard.
what? We are all great. Greatness is in all of us.
Yes.
What are you scared of?
Thing to do though, like you have to train yourself.
Yeah.
You got to train yourself, and that's where affirmations are so important.
Yeah.
You know, Muhammad Ali always said, "I am the greatest,"
Mm-hmm.
and he was. He said it over and over again to the point that it's stuck in his mind. So, with your affirmations, write affirmations that you need, not that you want, that you need.
Need to get you
and repeat them until you believe them.
Yeah.
Because when you believe in yourself, you'll manifest what you want.
Yeah. That's so true. So true. Wow. This has been like really, really juicy. So Justine, tell people, well, first of all, tell them about your, at the end, I asked you to tell about your free gift, what you have to offer, and and after that, tell them how they can stay connected to you. With all this juiciness that you're talking about, I'm sure you're going to have people call you, Justine, brand me now.
You're amazing, and they should show up to every single event. Like, I can't believe the events you're putting on are for free. I just want to thank you and give you a huge bunch of virtual flowers, because you are such a servant leader, and I'm so grateful that we connected. And I know that this is the first of many things. So firstly, I just wanted to honor you and thank you, and to all the amazing speakers who spoke today. Thank you for building out legacies and for everything that you do in this world. And especially you, Lorna, you brought us all together. So I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I'm honored to speak with you today. So a few ways they can connect with us. If they go to themilliondollarbranders.com, I'll put the link in the chat. There's actually a section on there called The Vault. And Renee Godfrey, who's my new business partner, we spent hours and hours on it. It's 5 secrets to building your $1 million brand. And we've put a lot of effort and work into it. So it's great information if you're just starting out and you're not really sure what branding is, because it's such a broad term. And it's used by everyone and anyone, and everyone is a brand, but not many people are getting it right. And we've got a very selfish motive in the community that we've created there, which is we want everyone to be rich. Like, we want everyone to build out their $1 million brand, because they're people that need us in the world. We're putting on a conference end of the year. It might be the end of the year. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the end of the year, where we will definitely get you to be a speaker. And the money is all going to Haiti. So, because Renee comes from a small village in Haiti. So we're really aiming to give out. And that's what we want from everyone, you know, who works with us, to build their brand so that there's a bigger, higher purpose for their company, what they're doing. You know, there's so much money to be made in the world. The other way they can connect with me is I'm very active on Clubhouse, and you can just find me by my name, Justine Pogroski, and also Instagram. I would love for you to connect with me and follow me, because I do a lot of content and doing very exciting things on there. So it's just at Justine Pogroski _official. I'll put it in the chat bar too. I've got a podcast they can go look at, my website, milliondollarbranders.com, and I'm always happy to serve in whatever way. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, but I'll give you whatever other details you need. Okay. And I'll always respond. So if they DM me, email me, I'm very responsive, even though I'm down under.
You're down under. Tell them today's Friday where you are. So
yes, it's Friday morning at 5:40 a.m.
I love
And
you.
love you too.
So guys, be sure to follow Justine. And I gotta tell you, take advantage of the offer that she gave you guys about in the vault. It was a super, super helpful document to read and go through. And if you're just starting out, it's actually perfect for you because it's that detailed that you can go through it and create what you want just to start out, right? So take advantage of that, my friend. Gorgeous.
We will meet each other soon. I will be in New York.
Definitely. Thank you for coming. Thank you for waking up so early this morning.
I appreciate you so much, Lorna. Anytime for you. One of the only people I would wake up early for.
Mwah. Thank you, my friend. I'll see you on the next one, okay?
Definitely,
Go get some rest.
definitely.
Go get some rest.
Thank you so much.
All right, mama. All right. So let's hear it. Let's see. Nakia, sky high as your imagination and tunnel vision. Yes. You should have. What did Jamila say? I think she meant you shouldn't be scared of being great. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And Dr. Pat Rogers was talking about the same applies to the LinkedIn and Facebook sites where you get to be really present and branded there. People do view your sites and you get to update the platforms along with the websites. Yes, yes, yes. What other takeaways? I know some people came in the middle of it. What were your takeaways from Justine's talk while we get our next speaker ready? How has it been so far? Let me hear what, on a scale of 1 to 5, how has it been so far? How has the speakers been so far? I want to hear what you're taking away, and I want to hear how the summit has been so far. Wow, thank you. Justine has been amazing, says Claudia. Keep it coming, keep it coming. I want to hear what you're taking away. Awesome speaker, says Monica. Yes, they've been amazing, amazing. All right, focus on the people you want to serve and not yourself, says Apostle Gloria. Have tunnel vision and don't be afraid of being great. Greatness is in all of us, all of us. You are sent here to be a leader. Period, end of story. And nobody should tell you any different. And you shouldn't tell yourself any different, right? So, hi, Wendy. Thank you for hopping on. All right, so let's move on to our next beautiful, amazing woman, or Loretta Wetzel. Mama Rose, come on. Where are you here? I just, hang on, I don't know if she's here.
I'm here, hold on.
Mama Soul, you're here. Oh, there is that beautiful woman. Hi, gorgeous.
Hey, beautiful.
How are you doing?
Listen, how can I not be joyful? An amazing group of women and leaders.
Oh my gosh, this has been cray. I mean, like, this has been like, you know, I even got words to put on it. Everybody has just brought it today. And I hope that the attendees are getting a lot out of this. And the biggest thing they're getting, I hope, is what I'm hearing. It starts with you. From the inside healing. And then guess what? It's all about them after that. So it's like a two-step process. That's what I'm hearing everybody coming up with. So welcome, Miss Loretta. Mama Soul is here. And you are here with us today because you are just this amazing entrepreneur who wants everybody to succeed in life. And you really focus on a lot of families, right? But we all family. We all family.
That's so important. You get to define who your family is. Mm-hmm. So you don't limit it to your biological family.
Yeah.
You got church families, you got your sororities, you got your community. You have your best girlfriend that you could call at 2 a.m. That's family.
Yes, 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 absolutely. I'm glad you defined that for us. So go ahead and tell them a little bit more about you. I met you through Women Gone Wild. I think it was a 5, or was it a 3 or a 5-day summit? Was it 3 or 5? I don't remember.
It was a 5-day summit.
5-day.
Mhm.
And you are amazing. And I just wanted to have you on here because you are filled with fire. Your heart is so huge. And I knew that coming here, you would add so much value to this summit and give all you got to these people. So tell them a little bit more about yourself and let's jump right in.
Well, Lorna, thank you so much. My name is Loretta Wetzel. I'm also known as Mama Soul Wisdom. I share old school wisdom for a new generation. And I am passionate about families and entrepreneurship. See, I'm on a mission. I am on a mission to impact 500,000 individuals and families to show them that they can monetize their own gifts, start a business, use the tools of entrepreneurship so that they can gain a competitive edge on life and to build a legacy for the future. So that's what I'm about. I so enjoy being with people and having them to see it's possible. It's possible for you as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's all possible. It's so funny that you're bringing this up because Monique was one of the ones who actually started the show, and she was talking about it's all possible. That was her big aha that she got when she started her real estate journey. She realized it was possible, right? So share with us a little bit more about how you do you. How do you get people to understand that it's possible? Like how take us through a process, like you don't have to give us the whole thing. Take us through the process of you working with somebody, shifting their mindset to show them that this is possible, whatever their dreams are.
Well, first and foremost, I had to have a mind shift. You can't show others if you haven't been there. In my humble opinion. Okay, let me just put that out there. Because I spent a good part of my career in corporate America. And I actually thought I was going to retire from corporate America. I had a high 6-figure paying job. I was an HR executive for a major airline. And, I worked 70 hours a week, but I thought I was taught, go to school, get a good job, climb the corporate ladder. That's what I did. And then one day my boss called me into his office and said, Loretta, we're going through a merger. I got to lay off one of my executives and it's going to be you. And I'm like, not. I go to work early, stay late. I did everything you asked me to. Went back, got extra degrees, all of it. And you're still laying me off. I was really angry. And then after I calmed down, I became scared because I had 3 strikes against me. First of all, I'm graced with age. I'm as old as my tongue and a little older than my teeth.
I love it.
Yes, and all my teeth are real. So a lady doesn't tell her age. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is they were hiring millennials straight out of college and giving them a third of my salary and twice the work. Problem number 3 is, as a parent, I thought I was going to have to disappoint my kids. I had 2 kids in college with out-of-state tuition, and I thought I was going to have to call them up and say, baby, mama lost her job, and you're going to have to come home from college and leave your dreams behind. That hurt me. As a parent, it hurt me. So I had to quickly reinvent myself. I chose to reinvent myself as an entrepreneur. Now, fast forward, I started in real estate investing. It's actually, Monique and I, we have that in common. So I started my business as a real estate investor, but I since have expanded with life coaching. To your question, Lorna, so what are the individuals that I help? A young lady, She was waitressing.
Mhm.
And she had an idea like, I want to start my online fitness class specifically for pregnant moms.
Ooh.
But she didn't know how to start, what to do. She just knew that she was tired of being a waitress and she had a dream.
Mhm.
That's it. And she came to me and we talked and I helped her to formulate her business, to put it online. And then the next thing you know, she had the ability to quit her waitressing job. See,
Wow.
it's all about critical areas.
Mhm.
And we're going to talk about mindset because I promised that we were going to talk about mindset today, but it's about mindset.
Mhm.
It's about being able to set up your business so it looks like a business. It's about maintaining your health. It's about your power. It's about being able to make sure you schedule in your playtime because you got to be able to stay joyful and balanced. It's not just work, 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 work. So all of these factors, I work with individuals in key areas along with starting their own business by monetizing their gifts.
Wow. Wow. You just said a lot. You just said a whole lot. And one of the pieces that I want to touch on, because I don't think we've heard it through the summit so far, is keeping your joy up, right? Keeping your joy. That's like juice. You know, that's like juice. Like even if you feel sad, and we're gonna have those days, right? You just gotta keep your joy up because guess what? If you get your energy up, bring up your joy, that gives you energy, and then you can get creative, right? And do the things that you're sharing with them to do to build a business, right? So talk to us a little bit more about how you do you, like I said. So give us a little bit more granular as to how you shift them from she was a waitress. What did it take from you to shift her into the mindset that it was possible for her to shift from the waitress to the entrepreneur? Because that's what this is all about, right?
Absolutely. You've got to shift. You have got to shift your mindset. So I have 5 tips on shifting or mastering your mindset. So the first thing you want to focus on is your thoughts, because thoughts matter. Sometimes you may find yourself in a position where you say, I'm just, and you fill in the blank. Well, it doesn't matter because that's just temporary. Your thoughts matter. There's actually a great book. It's an old book by James Allen. It's called As a Man Thinketh. And one of the quotes is that as he thinks, so he is. As he continues to think, so he remains. So we had to shift that mindset from I'm just a waitress to no, I'm a bad mama jamma instructor that I can help women online, particularly pregnant women, to eat healthy, to exercise, and to be fit. So the first thing you focus on is your thoughts. Now, I want to say that for some people that might be easier said than done. What do I mean by that? A lot of times the negative emotions will pop up. For example, you might say, I'm confused. Okay, well, you're not coming from a place of power when you say I'm confused. So here's what I want everybody to do. I want you to hold your hand up and I want you to say, shift your mindset. All right, so instead of saying I'm confused, instead say to yourself, I am seeking clarity with whatever was said, whatever the situation is, but you're seeking clarity. Here's another one. I'm hopeless. No, you're not. You're not hopeless. Instead, you can say, what small step can I take today?
Mhm.
The third thing that some people will say is, I can't do it. We gonna shift that. I don't believe that I can.
Mhm.
Here's what it is. You can set boundaries. Hear me clearly. Because some people don't set boundaries. You can say, this is what I can do. So you don't let other people define who you are. You tell people who you are and what you can do.
Yeah, before you jump to the next one, that's so super important because it goes right back to I forgot who was saying it. Be able to say, oh, Nakia, she was talking about being able to be a no at some point, right? That's a tie-in. Being able to be a no, it really supports you in not being overwhelmed, right? Because if you keep saying yes to things, you're gonna take yourself out. So that one right there, I just wanted to present it again because it came up before. And I'm really saying
Absolutely, Lorna. And you know what I call that? I take a healthy dose of vitamin N every day.
Mhm.
Vitamin N stands for no. You got to be clear on yourself what you can and cannot do in order to honor your word.
Yeah.
And there are times when people ask me to do things that my heart may want to, but
Mhm.
I know that my capacity and what I've committed to, I'm not able to. So I let people know what I can do. I give them alternatives. And at the end of the day, sometimes I just say no.
Mhm.
And it's okay. Tip number 2, words matter.
Mm.
Words matter. So as a kid growing up, if all you ever heard was, you ain't nothing, you never gonna be nothing, and you just like so and so and so and so who happens to be a bum, then here's the solution to that. You got to clear your space. And the way you can do that is through daily affirmations. And I know that that has been mentioned before, but oftentimes people don't practice or engage in those affirmations. So
Yeah.
that is definitely critical.
It takes time too, right? Because that's like for me, I do affirmations first thing in the morning and sometimes during the day, but the main one is first thing in the morning. And I literally do it while I'm brushing my teeth, right? Like I either do it before I brush the teeth or right after I brush the teeth. But it's so like, it's become, and as Justine was talking about discipline, it's so important to discipline yourself to do these things because that's how you create consistency, right? And that's how you unconsciously you're reprogramming your mind into something other than that what was there, right? But it
Absolutely.
requires consistency. And here's the thing, guys, we're not perfect. And if you forget to do an affirmation, it's better to do it, even if you don't do it at the same time. If you do it that day at a different time, that's still keeping your word to yourself, which is another discipline that you get to build. That's how you get to say no back to the other one. That's how you get to say no to people.
That's right.
I just wanted to stick that in there.
By the way, and I'm not getting paid for anything like that, but one of the apps that I use is called Think Up. And it allows you to record your affirmations in your own voice. They have a free version and a paid version. I use the free version. It's all good. But it's something that you can use as a tool. Mm-hmm. And I believe you can use both Apple and Android products.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. For third thing, your nonverbals matter. So if your body language says one thing and your words say something different, you gonna reach. Yes, that's it. Think up. If your body language says one thing and your words say something different, people are gonna run from you. Mm-hmm. So you can't be distracted with multitasking with so many different things. Pay attention, be present to who you are interacting and engaging with when you're starting your business and working your business. Mm-hmm. Your clients, your customers matter. Mm-hmm. And so in working with them, you got to pay attention to what they're requesting and what they need. Mm-hmm. All right, now here's a fourth one. Mm-hmm. I have to explain this one a little bit.
Take your time.
Do not allow others to put you into a false frame. Now, what do I mean by that? Do not allow others to say or think something about you that is not true. Do not allow others to say or think something about you that is not true. You are allowing them to put you in a false frame. What do I mean by that?
Mhm.
I have a young mentee, and she was sharing the experience that she had in college at an internship working at a particular job. And it was her and some other interns. And there happened to be another intern of the same color that was there. And this other intern would frequently show up late.
Mhm.
And what happened is that the unit that she was in, she noticed they began to lump all people of color together with the same behavior. And I pulled her aside and said, Janice, you don't allow people to put you into a false frame. You cannot control what that other intern is doing.
Mhm.
I said, but you can control this. I said, you make sure you show up to work early. You let people know that you are present so that you don't allow others to put you into a false frame. People will try to do that with you. And you know, I'm not a status quo type gal anyway, Lorna, you know that about me. I'm very unique in what I do. It's okay to be unique.
Yeah.
That's your secret sauce, but you don't allow other people to define you.
Mhm.
Okay, that's tip number 4. Tip number 5 in shifting your mindset. Did you realize that energies run in pairs?
Say that one more time.
Energies
Mhm.
run in pairs.
Yeah. Obviously.
They do. There's a primary and there's a secondary energy.
Okay.
The secondary energy sometimes is a little subtle. So for example, on the positive side, there's an energy of being, and then there's an energy of taking action. So for example, today I choose I'm going to be joyful.
Mhm.
That's the energy of being.
Mhm.
Secondary energy. Well, what if I'm really not feeling being joyful? You take that action. So what can I do to be joyful? I can hug my kids. I can share some funny jokes. I can wish someone happy birthday. I can celebrate. I can volunteer, right? So that I can be joyful.
Mhm.
Energies always run in pairs. Now, on the negative side, if you pair your ego with adding significance to a situation, that will kill achievement and take you out the game.
Mhm.
More times than not, you will take your own self out the game before somebody else will, because you allow your ego to get in the way. Oh, I'll look foolish. What will people think about me? I want to start my own business. Oh, they're going to laugh at me. I don't really know how to do this anyway. So it's like, set aside your ego, seek support, model after people who have already done it, and swing for the fences. Because I'm going to tell you something, 99% of success is built on failure.
Yes. 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 Yes.
All right.
Failure way to success.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
And listen, I'm preaching to the choir because I can tell you in the beginning, I told you I'm old school now. So when social media first came out, I had to really wrap my mind around. It felt like putting my business out on the street. You know, church mamas used to say, grandmama used to say, don't put your business out on the street, girl. And then I said, I'm a digital native or a digital immigrant, not a digital native. Like I wasn't born with a computer in my crib. So I had to shift my mindset to understand that social media is the way you do business today.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I wasn't very good at it at first. But even though you fail, I had to take my ego out. I had to take the significance out. I had to be willing to throw mud up against the wall to see what sticks, adjust, and keep moving forward, because you gonna have some failures. But here's what I know.
Yeah.
The 3 greatest accelerants for growth:
Go ahead.
heartbreak,
Mm-hmm.
failure, and uncertainty.
Ooh.
Those are your 3 greatest accelerants for growth. If you want to grow, you're going to have some heartbreak. There's going to be some disappointments. There's going to be some things that don't turn out the way. You keep it moving. You're going to have some failures. You keep it moving. You're going to say, I don't really know how to do X, Y, Z, but I have a passion and I want to learn. You can't have growth without uncertainty.
Yeah.
You can't have the power of choice without setting boundaries. And you can't have confrontation without the truth.
Yes. Wow. Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Because you know what, Mama Soul, this is where a lot of people get stuck, right? Because of the uncertainty, right? This is where they get stuck and they're not realizing, because of the failure, they're not realizing that all that is a part of the process. So I hope you guys are hearing this, because this is super, super important. Because if you are going to stay stuck in the uncertainty, you'll never do anything. And even if you're in business already and something is pushing you to add something to your business, right? Or start another business, right? We didn't talk about multiple streams of income today. Interesting. But if you're thinking along those lines and you're thinking of the uncertainty of the market, if you're thinking about the uncertainty of the economy, all those things, you'll never do anything.
You'll never do anything. And while you mentioned in multiple streams of income, consider this. If you have a wooden chair with 4 legs, if you cut off one of those legs, what happens to that chair?
It's gonna fall down.
It's gonna fall down. It's gonna be wobbly. It's not stable.
Mm-hmm.
If you have one W-2 income and you lose that income, your financial life is going to become unstable.
Yeah.
Multiple streams of income. And let me look for the silver lining in this pandemic. Because if this pandemic has taught me anything, people are comfortable with doing business online.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuse that you can't start a business from home, monetize your gifts. If you still got to keep that W-2 job, go ahead, because you got to keep a roof over your head and food on the table, but you can also build your own dream and have multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I know I took you off course there, when I inserted that, but I wanted to make sure they heard that uncertainty is this, leaders take risk. Uncertainty is risk. Failure is risk, because when you fail, you got to get back up. You got to risk getting back up and failing again, right? Thomas Edison, how many times they said he did the light bulb thing?
Thousands of times.
Like 10,000 times or something before we have light. So that's an example of failing forward. So don't be afraid of trying something. If it doesn't work, okay, but I actually get the support. So you get the support to help you along the way. People who have done it already, they know some of the loopholes that can help you, but that doesn't mean you're not going to fail, because it all depends on you as well. So the key is to keep it moving, like Mama Soul said, keep it moving. So go ahead.
Right? Yeah, and I also want to just focus a little bit on emotions.
Oh, girl.
Because women, I'm gonna keep it real now. Sometimes we feel like we got to give up something in order to make things happen. So I know when I first started working in corporate America, I gave up my femininity. In other words, I wanted to fit in with the big boys, and I always wore a suit, I always wore a shirt, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on. I'm a woman. I can choose to dress professionally in a nice dress. If I want to be sexy, I can do that too. I don't have to give that up in order to succeed. Sometimes if we're in a room, sometimes we hide our light under a bucket and we don't want to show how intelligent we are, that we're critical thinkers because we're a woman. Because sometimes it's a fine line. You can call somebody out because you know what they say and it's not right. And then sometimes you get labeled as not being the team player. So there's always this dance of, I got to give something up because I'm a woman. We're not going to do that anymore. We are not going to give up our power as women, as human beings, to change the world. This is our time.
Yes.
Women, this is our time. And we get to speak up. We get to stand up. We get to choose to raise a family, have a profession, have a career, be an entrepreneur, travel the world if that's what you want to do. You can do all of it without sacrificing or giving up what makes you tick, who you are as a power of being a woman. Let me get off my soapbox, honey.
No, this is.
I'm sorry.
This is no. Don't be sorry. Somebody, if not all of us, need to hear this. Right? It's an encouragement. It's an empowerment. What you're doing is empowering us to stand in our greatness, like we said before. It's like giving us permission. A lot of times people need that. Women need the permission because we have given up our own rights and given other people permission. Been there, done that. Giving up our rights and giving other people permission to do whatever they want to do while we stuff ourselves down. We, put ourselves down. And again, it's unconscious behavior. Unconscious behavior. So we're here today to rise up, shine the light, and you get to choose, right?
You get to choose. And I'll never forget, I was listening to one of my favorite motivational speakers, Les Brown. And I heard it before, but this time it just clicked when he said, never allow anyone else define who you are. And I, in the past, would allow other people to define what I should say, what I should do, how I should act, how I make my money. And then I realized I get to choose. I get to choose my life. I get to choose. I'm so excited. I was just featured in the Los Angeles Tribune in an article. I'm part of a women's anthology book called Women Gone Wild, The Feminine Guide to Fearless Living. Amazon bestseller in 10 categories. And we were featured in the Los Angeles Tribune, hot off the press. Like it just happened like a day ago. And they're calling it the largest women's empowerment movement that they have ever seen. Yeah. And I'm so privileged to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's powerful. And that's what you're all about too, right? The family, that's a whole nother level of family.
Honey, the family is in attack.
Yeah.
It's we don't talk about
Mhm,
family.
mhm,
You know, we talk about other things,
Mhm.
but in family in uplifting terms,
mhm.
in positive terms, in leveraging raises all ships.
Yeah.
We as women, we're not doing that anymore.
Mhm,
We're
mhm.
uplifting each other. And so when you asked me, I said, I don't care what I have to do to rearrange my schedule. I'm like, I'm going to be here because it's important for women for us to support one another. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mama Soul. Thank you. I love it. 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 So I'm going to ask you what's your favorite life quote, but I think you just said it because I love that one. I think I posted it the other day on social media. A rising tide raises all ships. But you can't say that one. You gotta give me another one.
Well, me and Mama Soul Wisdom, I have a bunch of old school sayings.
I know.
Hard to get me to narrow down to just one.
Okay,
But
one of your top five. One of your top five.
I'll give you two of my favorite ones. How
Okay,
about that?
I'll take it.
Stop allowing others to live rent-free in your head.
Ooh.
Because, you know, we talk about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
People rattling around in here, what do they think about me and all that? They ain't paying you rent. Stop allowing other people to live rent-free in your head. That's one of my favorite ones.
Mm-hmm.
Second one. If you do what you say you're going to do, pretty soon your life will look like the way you say it does. Just do what you say you're gonna do.
Yeah, be your word.
Be your word, and doors will open for you.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a really good one, because we think that when we honor other people's word, it's more important than when we honor our own. So that's
my tagline is "Love yourself first." On my podcast,
yeah.
Podcast called I Am Love Movement. I interview parents and entrepreneurs who have triumphed over tragedy using love, acceptance, and forgiveness. And that's my tagline. You gotta love yourself first. If you don't love yourself first, it's really, really hard to give to others because you gotta fill your own tank first. You gotta nourish yourself first. Now, I'm gonna tell you what it looks like for me. What it looks like for me, I must go and get a body massage. 6 weeks, shut the phone off, shut the computer off, no text, no email. Let me just spend an afternoon having somebody work on my body. Now, that's me loving myself. So I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Woo! Yes, girl. I love it. A one of my own heart. Yes, 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 yes. Self-care, so it's coming up again. So pay attention to the stuff that keeps coming up. Gotta tell you, none of these people, we didn't know what we were gonna come here to talk about. We just know we came here to serve you in mindset, money, and manifesting. And all the stuff that's coming up over and over again, pay attention. That's how it works. Pay attention. All right, Mama Soul Wisdom, tell us about your gift, my friend.
Absolutely. And so if you have challenges or are struggling with affirmations or don't know where to start or begin, because it really is the powerful part of your day, you can go to my website and I'll put it in the chat. But I have free downloads at mamasoulwisdom.com. And there is a 2-word phrase that is most powerful. If you download that, not only will you get that 2-word phrase that is most powerful, you'll also receive the set of affirmations that I use every single day. And so I say, if you don't know how to create affirmations, borrow mine, and then you can make it your own.
Mhm.
So that's my free gift to all of you.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Take advantage of that, and use it, right? Use it. The thing we want to make sure you guys take away from this show today is that we're giving you tangible things to take away, walk away from. In the beginning, I said to you, make sure you have a pen and paper to write down, but also make sure that you take at least one thing that you're going to implement in your life when you leave our space today. We just want to make sure that something you take away, something that's going to help you to move forward in some way or shape. Okay. Website. So you got to repeat your website and where they can connect with you, Mama
Oh,
Soul.
yes. You can connect with me on Facebook and IG at Mama Soul Wisdom. I'm also on Clubhouse at Loretta Wetzel. Wetzel like pretzel. I know it's different name, but what can I say? It is what it is. But I also am offering access to my next masterclass. You can register at mamasoulwisdom.com/registration. And I'll go over unlocking your family freedom, 6 keys to discovering happiness and success. Now, what's so great about that is I'm going to give some giveaways, some good information. So if you like what you heard today, I got more of that I'll give away in my masterclass. But you'll begin to discover your true life's purpose, how you can begin to live with passion and joy in your life. We're going to learn some financial literacy skills. We're going to talk about a winning mindset. We're going to talk about healthy eating and fitness habits, effective communication, and how to have fun in life regardless of the circumstances. All of that is in my masterclass. I will give you access to it. Just go to that link and sign up, and we'll have a blast.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you again for coming on. You have been a wealth of wisdom, right? I love what you shared with us today, and I so appreciate you, so appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for giving it your all. I'm just so grateful, so grateful.
I'm grateful for you, Lorna, because it's going to take all of us.
Yeah.
It's not the politicians, it's not the government, it's frontline people like you and me taking a stand for women and humanity, for our voices to be heard. See you, my sister in arms. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much.
God bless
Much
you.
love.
You too. All right. Mama Soul Wisdom was kicking butts and taking names today. Takeaway. What's the takeaway? The biggest takeaway. And I want to hear from somebody who hasn't put in the chat yet, who's been here the whole time. Give me some takeaways from Mama Soul while we wait for our next speaker. Yes, Apostle Gloria. Thank you for participating, Apostle. My takeaway from Mama Soul: words matter. Yes, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Heard that one? Yeah, whatever we say, come positive or negative, by the way. I was just talking to a woman this morning. I was coaching this morning, and I had to remind her about her language. She was future pacing and creating the conversation she was going to have with her husband. And I said to her, okay, but if you say that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. And she was like, oh, yeah. So she was creating her experience before the experience actually happened. So yes, words matter. Your body language and your words must line up. Yeah, we talk about alignment all the time. Alignment is so important. Sometimes it's that shift that you need in your words and your body that makes the difference for like I said, the money to flow. It's that you got to align words with your body. How you're feeling is important. You got to be present. You know, you heard speakers talk about being present. You got to be present in your mind and your body, because literally your mind will tell your body what to do. That's a whole nother summit. All right. And don't let people define you. You tell them or show them who you are. Yes, Apostle Gloria. Yes. Anybody else want to share what their takeaways are while we wait on our next speaker, I am not seeing her in here. If you just hang on for a quick minute, I will see if I can locate her. I don't see her on right now. If anybody wants to pop on and share their takeaways on camera, that will work as well. Anybody want to pop on and share? Anybody? No takers? Any takers? All right, give me a minute, guys. Let me see if I can locate my next speaker. She was hopping off a plane to come be with us. So there may be some delay there. Thank you for your grace and patience. This is what happens live. So hang on. Kira, if you're there and you can cue a little bit of relaxing music. Let me invite you guys to start. We're almost at the end. So start thinking about, did you get what you came for? Did you get what you came for? Because I'm asking for takeaways. I'm not seeing a lot of it in the chat, but if you haven't posted in the chat what your takeaways are, I want to make sure that you got what you came for. So, you know, just be present with it. And okay, she said she was going to be on at 3:20, but I don't see her. Hang on one second. She did text me. Okay. So she's going to come on. She's on her way. And let me see in the chat what's happening here in the chat. Yes, Hope says, yes, Maya Angelou says it too. We teach people how to treat us. Wendy, love that energies run in pairs. Yeah, that was good, right? And because we don't really think about it, right? Positive and negative charge, right? That was so good. Recharge. You get to get recharged so that you can help other people. And that's the thing, right? We always look for our destiny. And one of the things I found out my destiny was is to do just this. We get to help each other elevate, accelerate, and recharge, right? Because some of the things, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So if we know something and we can share that information with somebody else, that person's going to tell us, yeah, I know that, but maybe the way you shared it, it opens up something different for that person that you're sharing it with. So that's why it's so important to use our voice and be present, be visible. More takeaways. Oh, Hope, yes, our bodies believe our own voice over any other. So recording affirmations in our own voice is powerful. Yes, definitely powerful. Because then you're not just listening to somebody else's voice, you're actually saying it to yourself. That's why that's so good. Oh, and Sue is here. Yay. I love it. Oh my gosh. Thank you for making it.
It's been a little crazy, but I am here. So thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So welcome, Sue. We've been here having a great time while you're in the air. We've been here. So I'm going to send you the replay because really
absolutely.
I want to share it with you. So guys, this is Sue Young. Sue is actually one of my speaker coaches, and Sue is a powerful, powerful, powerful media mogul. I call her a media mogul because she's been in radio. She's been in radio. She has podcasts. She's doing all the media stuff. And here's her specialty, which is why I wanted her here today to share with us. And it ties in right to something I just said. Words are powerful. So Sue specializes in NLP. right? And she uses that technique in a whole bunch of different areas. So Sue, let me not tell them all your business. Let me pass the mic over to you so that you can share what you want to share about yourself with our audience today. And thank you for jumping off the plane and coming right in.
All good,
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
All good, yeah. Just took a flight today and back in New Jersey, where I'm originally from. And so, yeah, I am basically a story and sales coach. I started out in broadcast news and as a radio on-air anchor and a news reporter for 10 years. I interviewed everyone from homeless people to presidents and won a bunch of awards along the way. Also worked for a nonprofit for a year and ran Governor Christie Whitman's Office of Radio and Television in Trenton, New Jersey for a few years. And then 21 years ago, I started my business, which is called Get in Front Communications. The website is actually SueYoungMedia.com. And it started as a PR company because I had been in the trenches on the other side and, knew how to pitch people and what, the media were looking, what the reporters and news decision makers were looking for. And with social media, of course, it's morphed into more of a communications. I speak often in person and obviously on Zoom of recent. And I teach entrepreneurs how to share your story so that people want to buy from you. I developed a story funnel system 21 years ago that I still use today for my own business. It allowed me to build my company into a multiple six-figure income within 3 years without technology, a staff, or a budget. And that's what I teach today. And that's what my clients learn from me is how to share your story so that you can attract your ideal clients and they can buy from you. And I think with the way social media has been, just especially, I'm on Clubhouse a lot and people just say, I can't figure this out. I'm shy, I don't want to talk. And in between all this communications work for the past 35 years is my training in NLP and neuro-linguistic programming, which is still fascinating to me. So I'm able to tie it all together, which is nice.
Yeah. So you helped me. I met you on Clubhouse, remember?
Right. Yeah, I do.
I met her on Clubhouse. And, again, when the student is ready, teacher will show up. And she's been coaching me. I had my first live event that she coached me through. I didn't ever think I could have done it. That was an amazing thing. And I credit you for that because you helped me not just with presentation, but with the language to land the message so powerfully so that the person I was really speaking to could hear it. So, and that's, for me, that's what you've done for me. But tell us a little bit more about how you use NLP in your business, not so much how you coach it, but how you use it in your business to land the gigs that you want to land. How do you use it? How do you use NLP in your content to get that message over to the people who you're wanting to attract?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I do is it's really about bridging communication gaps, and it's about language and our behavior and psychology. So it's especially important in sales and how you connect with people and how oftentimes that you feel like you're kind of butting heads, like you're not, speaking the same language, or that you're talking past one another, and there's some kind of it's frustrating for both people, whether it's personal or professional. And by the way, NLP works beautifully at home as it does at work. So it's a win-win here.
Yeah.
So I can use it for, sales and of course, to build trust and influence people, but not in a negative way, not to manipulate or anything like that. That's not what NLP is about. It's scientifically proven. And it's just understanding the way our brains work and how we process information and the experiences that we had. So for instance, I talk about storytelling in business and that it's important for us to share our stories. I shared a story with you about how about my career. Well, if you have a story and you are thinking about, okay, I have a business, but I don't have a story to tell. My message to you is that you do have a story. It's probably right under your nose. You just don't recognize it because you're not seeing the value in you. And so what I teach first off when in my group programs and in private coaching too, is that it's, we need to get that story straight in our heads first, that internal chatter. because it really does matter. And so it's that negative self-talk, it's the imposter syndrome, it's the self-doubt, that soundtrack that loops around in our brains 24/7. Once you, I call it inside out storytelling.
Mhm.
So once you can understand more about how that works and how you can replace the old soundtrack of the negative self-talk with something positive and uplifting, then your whole world will change because you're looking at things through a different eye and through a different lens and a different perspective.
Mhm.
So that's where NLP comes in. So it's, you know, if you're telling yourself a lousy story in your head and you're trying to go out into the community and sell something and you say sales are slow, there's no clients, how come my competition, da, 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 you know, it's because the inside is leaking poison and it's coming out in everything that you do, in your content, in your videos, in your meetings, and all. So it's really important to get the inside straight first.
Mhm.
And that's why I call it inside out storytelling.
Yeah.
I'll share with you a quick example of how NLP worked for me when I first started using it about 21 years ago. I went to a meeting in person with the executive director of a nonprofit. And I never met her before, and I had just started learning how to model people. And so it's, you know, how is their body language, their verbal communication, their pacing, their inflection, their tone, and how do they sit and move and behave. So if there we go. If somebody's sitting like this, you know, I might want to sit like this and just model, because what happens is it looks like I look like them. I make them feel comfortable. I'm not, again, mimicking them or not manipulating them, but they feel like they're looking in the mirror. It's called mirroring
Mhm.
or modeling. So when I mirror somebody, they feel that connection because they like what they see because I'm like them. So I went to this meeting with this director of this nonprofit and I said, I'm going to try this out, you know, see how it goes. So we do the presentation, and in the middle of the meeting, she just blurts out, I really like you. Let me go get Doug and we'll sign the contract. And I'm like, okay. So this is cool. This works. So that's just one example of
Wow, that's powerful. That all you did was mirror him
yeah.
in body language. You didn't have to say anything, nothing.
No, we talked, you know, it was a woman, you know, we talked and it was just, you know, this is what I do. This is, you know, she wanted to see I showed her some news clips of people that I got, you know, in newspaper and radio and TV. And, you know, but I was mirroring her and I was able to, again, match her language, but physically match her body language. And that's what, you know.
That's what did it. Yeah, because she felt like she was talking to herself.
Subconscious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. That's, you know, this is tying in so well because somebody else had mentioned about language and how you reflect in people. That's beautiful and so easy to do, right? And again, we can be doing it unconsciously. So it's really good that you brought it up and to be present to it. A lot of times we go into conversations, at least my experience, we go into conversations and we're always thinking about what we want to say and what we want to bring across, but it's all about, I don't want to use the word close, because what you did was close her, right? In a sales conversation.
Right.
The way to close is to actually focus out on the other person so that they feel heard, they feel seen, and that's actually closing faster. You could be selling, you know, not that you would sell junk, but you could be selling junk and the person will still say yes because they see themselves in you. That's so super powerful. But is there any other kind, you just talked about body language. Can we shift to words and then after you shift to words, or maybe you can add in tonality and how you do use all that.
One thing I would add though about NLP is that when you're using this in business, you know, it really requires deep listening skills, and that's something, you know, and curiosity of asking good questions. It's not so much about, you know, modeling them and closing them, but when it feels just like a simple, casual, friendly conversation, and it doesn't feel, you know, pushy or awkward or salesy, and you're just talking to somebody, and I think that's my superpower, is just being curious. I think just naturally curious. So I ask a lot of questions, which was annoying, you know, when I was young, and my parents were like, stop, you know, but it served me well in my career. And so I think, you know, having that deep sense of, you know, deep listening skills And just one fun thing is that the word listen and the word silent are the same letters in a different order. It's an anagram.
Oh, yes.
We always say, listen with your mouth closed. Listen with your mouth closed. So listen and silent. So
Wow.
you were asking about the voice. And so the voice is important to me because I worked in radio and broadcasting. I was on the radio every day for 10 years. So it's really about somebody who, you know, if they talk fast, you talk fast. If they are, you know, slow, you slow down because you want to match them so that they don't, if I'm talking, and I talk fast because I'm from the East Coast, so I'm just a little self-conscious about that. I just need to slow down. Here's an example though. Years ago, I called up a TV producer that I knew at Channel 9 in Secaucus, New Jersey, and I wanted to pitch her a story. And her name's Carol, and we never met in person. So it was just a phone relationship, and we worked together for a long time. So she answers the phone, and all she said was hello. And I said, hey, Carol, it's Susan Young. Do you have a minute? It sounds like you might be busy. And all of a sudden, it was like dead air, you know, as we keep saying, right? It was just dead, you know, like, and she's like looking around. Yeah, I could feel like she's like looking around. She's like, how'd you know? And I said, I just heard it in your voice. And she said, well, I only said hello. I said one word. I said, yeah, but she says, actually, I'm late for a meeting. My pocketbook just fell over and I can't find my keys. Now's not a good time. So I was right, you know, that she was stressed out and that, all right, you know, here I'm thinking, okay, genius, don't pitch her the story now because she's not paying attention. She's totally distracted. I said, all right, I'll call you back this afternoon. Is that okay? And she says, no, I'm going to be out all day. Call Larry at extension 203. And, you know, Jersey, she hangs up. Okay, cool. So I call Larry at extension 203, pitch him this story. And I say, hey, you know, Carol asked, you know, Carol told me to call you. Like, you know, but with that sense of urgency, you know, me and Larry and Carol, you know, we're all hanging out. Like, I didn't call him and leave a message and say, hey, Lawrence or Mr. Smith. Larry, hi, you know, Carol mentioned to me in passing, I should be calling because I had a great story for you, you know. And so that, again, developing that rapport and feeling, you know, owning the right to show up and be there.
Yeah, that's so good. You used a very powerful word in my world, urgency. I try to create urgency as much as I can, because that alone will shift your money. I gotta tell you.
Absolutely, I agree.
That urgency, you know, sometimes we don't. Who was I talking to this week? And she said, "Oh, Dr. Pat." I was talking to her, and she said, "Oh, you know, I'm so glad that you asked me to do this, and you didn't linger. You just did it, right?" Because she's sometimes people tell her, "Oh, we'll get to it next week. We'll get to it tomorrow." Blah blah blah. Urgency shifts your money. It really truly does. So that's another nugget I want to make sure that they hear. So go ahead, tell us more about NLP and how we can, you know, put it into our business or so you've talked about language, you've talked about body language, you've talked about how you were able to listen, deep listening. And again, listening is all about focusing out, right? It's not about what you want to pitch. That's what I just heard. This wasn't about what you wanted to pitch her. You wanted to make sure it was the right timing to pitch. And then you talk about urgency. Now tell us a little bit more about, because I know you taught me those words. Can we talk about the words?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. So good call. Yes.
Okay.
So NLP is based on our sensory mode. There's 4 pillars of NLP, just to, you know, briefly give you. It's about sensory awareness. It's about behavioral outcome. It's about building rapport, and it's about flexibility. So the way that we work with the sensory modalities is that here's a simple example. We're either visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. Those are the 3 main modalities. So people leave us in conversations, whether it's like this on camera or on the phone, or even in an email, they'll say something like, I get the picture, or that sounds good to me, or that rings a bell, or I can't wrap my head around that, or I can't put my finger on it, or let's really nail your introduction. So those are different words that, you know, we have a dominant modality. Everyone has, you know, a dominant one, but we use all 3. So if a visual person is talking to you and you're frustrated and you're like, feel like you're not getting anywhere, or kind of, like I said, butting heads, or talking past one another, start to listen for the verbal cues and clues that this person is dropping. So if they say, I don't get the picture. I'm seeing the proposal out here like this, and you're saying that it's over here. And so they're more visual because you're saying I'm seeing and it's out there. And so if you're more auditory and you're saying, oh, that sounds good to me, or that rings a bell, or how does that sound? And she's like, no, I don't like that. It's because you're speaking Spanish and they're speaking French. So you start to pick up, okay, this person is more auditory, visual, or kinesthetic is, let's nail down that proposal, or I can't put my finger on it. What are some of the touch points? Those are the kinesthetic. Those tend to be artsy, creative, touchy-feely kind of people.
Mhm.
So once you get on the same page and you're, again, astute with your listening skills, you can pick up on the cues that they're dropping and pick them up and say, okay, I need to shift my modality. And I mean, it works, it's instantaneous that they say, oh, okay, I see. So you're doing this. So here's an example, if you're doing a talk and you want to cover all modalities because you have like 20 people in the room or 50 people,
Mhm.
you might start with kinesthetic because that's the hardest group to reach out to. And then you're slow, you talk about kinesthetic. So you say, I'm going to give you the whole ball of wax, or let's go deep on this topic. And we're going to break it down into 3 sections, 1, 2, 3. And then you get them hooked. You get them to pay attention. And then you go into auditory. So you might say, listen, if this sounds familiar to you, we're going to talk about that in section 2. So stick around. Stick around is kinesthetic, stick. Okay, so then you drop a few words like that. And then you'll say, you'll go to visual, which would say, look, I know you get the big frame, but let's take a closer look at this. Let's view it from a fresh perspective or a new lens.
Mhm.
And now you've got all 3 modalities.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach, because I think I used all 3 in this summit.
Okay, I bet you did.
Yeah, so that's so important in communication, right? It'll land your communication better and faster, like if you listen for those cues from people. So how does this, I was going to tie it back to money.
Yeah.
How does this all translate to money? How does using the NLP, using all the modalities, using all that, how does that translate to money?
It completely bridges communication and relationship gaps.
Mhm.
So if you want to be, a really strong sales professional, and I don't mean like that, used car salesman or the slick, oil, salesperson, somebody's kind of sneaking around, but really to build rapport and trust with people, that's how you do it. I mean, you want to close a lot of clients, and again, it's about visualization and about manifesting, which I know you've talked about a lot today, and we've talked about, of how do you attract things, and what does the picture look like in your subconscious mind, that internal story, and what story do you want to live in the story, even though it might not exist just yet. Your mind doesn't know the difference between real or imagined. And so even if I say, okay, like I would visualize, for instance, we wanted to buy a new car, and we had a Ford Taurus. And so I was visualizing this new Infiniti that our friend Jeff had. And so, the Ford breaks down, the Taurus breaks down, and we're like, okay, well, the kids are little and they're in daycare and it's expensive and, money's tight. We just bought a house and all this. And, I said to my husband, let's go to the Infiniti dealer and see. And he goes, you're crazy. We can't, Jeff's in a different position financially. We can't buy an Infiniti. And I'm like, so I'm visualizing this car, and everywhere I went, of course, there's Infinitis all over the road. And so I think I became that car after a while. I was like, okay, I could see myself in like minutia detail. I'd pull the handle up and I'd slide into the leather seat, like the beige. I didn't say like I got in a car. I slid into a fine leather seat with the wood grain, dashboard and the stick and the sunroof that we didn't have in the other car, and the 6, CD deck and all that at the time. And I would just watch that movie over and over and over again and convince my subconscious mind, even though the Ford was sitting in the driveway. Sure enough, that car breaks down. 3 days later, we have an Infiniti in our driveway. Wow. Andrew goes, I don't know how the heck you do that, but so, but it's again, because I'm able to, bridge those communication gaps and build fast rapport with people, simply by sharing my story, listening to their story, and knowing where I fit into the conversation. It's not a sale. It's not a pitch. It's about having a conversation. And if it looks like it's a good fit, we'll work together. If not, that's fine. I'm not for everybody. You're not for everybody. It might not be the right time. That's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. What I'm hearing you say is the listening is very, very, very important. And a lot of times we don't listen because we're so focused on the sale. I know.
Well, we're so focused on, we tend to focus on what our answer is going to be.
Yes.
And, our minds are so bombarded with messages that are irrelevant to us, whether your phone is beeping or your alerts, or I forgot to defrost the chicken, or the car needs gas. And it's like, I'm here with you right now. And one of my coaches told me years ago, and I'll share this with you, wherever your feet are, your head is. I'm here with you now. I'm not worried about the chicken defrosting or the car needs gas or somebody didn't do their homework. This is all we have right now. So I'm with you. Be fully present.
Yeah.
And stop that soundtrack. And that's what NLP really is. It comes down to having high levels of self-awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. That's powerful. Wow. 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 You talk fast, but the time also went fast. I love it. So I'm going to ask you what's your favorite, what was my question? What's your favorite life lesson quote or two, and why?
Okay. One is what my grandma told me. My grandma was born in Brooklyn in 1899, and she lived to be 95 years old. And we had a profound relationship. And she used to say, when I told her me and Andrew got engaged, and we've been married for 32 years now, she said, know when to speak up and know when to shut up. She wasn't well educated, but she was very, very wise.
How long have you been married?
32 years.
Oh, I guess it worked.
It worked. Yeah. Know when to speak up and know when to shut up. That's my grandma. So, and then the other one is, I think really ties nicely back to NLP, is that there's nothing wrong with you and there never was.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to whoever's on this call right now, the 14 people. If you think that there's something wrong with you, that you don't measure up, that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, whatever, stop. It's that story in your head. And when you replace it with something that's more empowering, instead of being dragged down, and you have that high level of self-awareness and what you're getting distracted with and what your habits and routines are, that's leading. If you don't like your external world, if you don't like the car in the driveway, the money in the bank account, the house, the office, the desk, the computer, whatever, the clothes in the closet, turn that camera around and look inward, because it's a reflection of you. Your external world is a reflection of your internal world. So just know that there's nothing wrong with you and there never was. You're perfect. You just need to get out of your own head sometimes, just like I did. So
find your way back to you is what I'm hearing you say. Find your way back to you. Because we've been so programmed out of ourselves. It's insane, really. I love that. Love that. Love that. And I love the wisdom of your grandma. Yeah. Life, a long life. All right. So we're coming down to the wire here on our Breakthrough to Millions Summit. And
I'm going to mute this because the phone is ringing. I apologize.
Yeah. So you can, in the meantime, post your takeaways that you got from Sue. Her NLP stuff is pretty powerful. I know she went pretty fast, but when she comes back on, I'm going to ask her to share her free gift with us. And then after that, I'm going to ask her to share how you guys can stay connected. So, okay, so she posted it here. Are you coming back on, Sue? So she's posting her info.
Yep. Hi. Sorry. The place I'm at has a hardwired phone. I'm like, what's that? Yeah, they the takeaway is I think if you want to get in touch and we can I do free story power sessions, which is a 30-minute free strategy call just to get acquainted and see what you're up against and what challenges I might be able to help you with and offer some suggestions. So we could schedule that for sure. And you can just drop me an email. I put that in the chat. It's sue@sueyoungmedia.com. I'll send you the application and the link to the schedule to set that up. Happy to do that. And, you know, everybody's got the same resources. It's just a question of, are you being resourceful? And, you know, if you're looking around saying, you know, why is this happening to me? Or why don't I have clients? Or why don't I have sales? Or why is my marketing off? It's always comes down to communication 98% of the time. And my clients get, you know, a 400 to 700% return on investment when they work with me, because they're closing deals, they're feeling more confident, they feel like they belong, they're able to share their story in ways that they didn't even know they had a story. And that's my gem and my superpower. So happy to help you out with your story and start to use it in as far as having a conversation so that you can attract more clients and do your thing.
And have a long marriage.
Yeah, yeah.
That too, that too,
Yep,
that too.
absolutely.
Love it. Well, thank you, Coach, for coming on. I thank you for making it happen, for shifting all kinds of ways, and just making space to come and share with us everything you know about NLP and how we can use it in different modalities to help us to shift our mindset, shift our money, and manifest the life that we want. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, an honor. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. All right. What a day. Oh my gosh. What a day. What a day. What a day. Thank you all for staying on. As you know, my name is Lorna Sugarland, and I am honored to have brought this show to you. And you can get connected with me. I am a mindset coach. So if you want to shift your mindset to shift your money, you can connect with me. My little thing isn't working right now, but my email address is going to be in the chat. And you can connect with me here for a strategy session. And here's the thing. I want to honor someone who has been here for the whole time. So here's what I'm going to request. Let's see. Is Dr. Pat still on? I want to do because you guys stayed on. We're going to do an impulsive draw. We're going to do an impulsive draw. So for everybody who is here, if you want to come on camera, that will be fine. If y'all want to come on camera, that will be fine.
You cannot start your camera because the host has stopped it.
Oh, you can't get on camera?
Okay,
hold on. All right, I'll do it.
Okay, now it's just, oh.
There you go.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, so I here's what I want to do. Because everybody has been so awesome staying on for the whole time, I want to put everybody in a raffle virtually. It's a virtual raffle. And I picked Dr. P to come on and pick, close your eyes. Can you close your eyes and pick, let me see. I'm creating as I go. This is what
You're not letting me show my virtual background, but I'll be all right when the swelling go down. Go ahead. You got me blocked. Go ahead.
I want to pick somebody in the audience. Just pick random. Don't pick somebody you know. Pick somebody random and then I'll tell you what you win. How about that?
Okay, so you want me to just pick somebody random?
Pick somebody.
I do not know who. I don't know who Sherry is. And I see Sherry.
So Sherry is the winner. And what is Sherry gonna win? I'm gonna send Sherry $100 gift card for being here on this summit today.
Wow.
See? So here's the thing. Speak, and you know, I didn't even know I did that. So hold on. Let me rope it all in. I picked the visibility strategist, right?
Yeah.
To pick a winner. And can I just tell you, I just made all this up. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm open. When you talk about $100, I'm open.
So here's why I want to bring this. I want to close with this. I picked the visibility strategist to pick the winner of somebody who stayed on the summit. Guess what? Visibility strategist, the person Sherry showed up. That's how she won. You gotta show up to win. Right? You gotta show up to win. So Sherry, you can DM me your information so I could get it off to you.
Awesome.
Whether you want me to do it in whatever, you know, we have all kinds of things to get you money.
Awesome.
So if you want to send me an email with your address, I'll mail it off to you. And I want to thank all the speakers. OMG. You all rocked it out today. Thank you for bringing your A game and sharing this so profound information with people that they get to know, to move them forward, to break through all the crap that's stopping you. Here's what I know. Here's what I know. No money left the planet.
Mm,
No money left the planet. So
okay.
where is it? It's waiting for you to show up.
So,
Yeah? Waiting for
Yeah.
you to show up. So with that said, thank you, the audience, for staying in. Thank you, speakers, for coming on. I appreciate you. And we're in this thing together. Let's stay connected. If you need a strategy session with me, you have my email address. You get my emails, schedule a call, and we will get you to the next level.
woo,
All right, my friends, thank you for showing up.
Awesome.
Have a great rest of the day. And thank you again.
awesome.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Where's Kira? Where's my end music? Where my music at, Key? All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all. Thanks, Wendy. Thank you. Thank you, Hope. Thank you, Dr. P. Thank you, Apostle Gloria. Thank you, Nakia. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you.
that's